Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, October 17th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat. Right here, we got the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Seattle Mariners, ALCS Game 5, the battle in Seattle. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 8 minutes, so let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. On the left, the superstar first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And on the right, our center fielder stud, Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Toronto Blue Jays. Leading off for the Blue Jays at DH, George Springer. Batting second, playing left field, Nathan Lucas. Batting third, playing first base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for the Blue Jays, Alejandro Kirk. Batting fifth, playing center field, Dalton Varsho. Batting sixth, playing second base, Ernie Clement. Batting seventh, playing right field, Addison Barger. Batting eighth, playing second base, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Andres Jimenez. And on the mound for the Blue Jays will be Kevin Gausman. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in center field, Julio Rodriguez. And it was a time to switch up the order of the lineup. You know, Randy leading off has not really done a great job. Hopefully Julio leading off here today will give us that spark that we need. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting third, DHing for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing third base, Eugenio Suarez. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting eighth, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Not really sure why Victor Robles isn't playing in right field 2 games in a row, but hopefully we get to see Victor play if Canzone starts off slow. This will be a position to watch offensively in the box as well as defensively in right field. I hope that works out for Dom, but Victor is the better player. We will monitor this closely. And batting ninth, playing second base, it is Leo Rivas. And on the mound for the Mariners, it is Miller time. It is Bryce Miller. ALCS game number 5, the battle in Seattle. This is going 6 or 7 games. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, this is game 5. Someone in the Battle of Seattle is going to go up 3-2 as we go back to Toronto. So there's a number of ways we can go about it. We can win today and then obviously drop game 6, win in game 7, or we can win in back-to-back games, obviously here in game 5 and in game 6 in Toronto, or we could lose tonight, go back to Toronto with our backs against the wall, and in game 6 and game 7. So, there's a number of scenarios where the Mariners can advance. And right now it's 2-2, and we got 3 games left. And we played all year to be in a position like this, to be able to not only win the AL West, to go to the ALDS and beat the Tigers. We're in the ALCS right now with the Battle of Seattle, right? Going against the Toronto Blue Jays. And then we have the Dodgers on the cusp. If they win with Shohei Ohtani on the mound tonight, they will sweep the Milwaukee Brewers. So again, we will wait and see how that Dodgers series ends up, but again, we have a lot of possibilities. We got 3 games to go. It's a 2-game sprint. And again, I like our chances of winning this series. And I have good feeling that we should be able to get some good production here today. We'll be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on the Dono train. And then 5 to 15 subs. Once we hit those numbers, we'll be able to go to our secondary goals. And we need 30 subs to be able to get to 23,100. So once we hit that, obviously we'll go for that next goal as well. Mike in the building, what's good? Cody, Larry in the building. Sadaman in the building, what's good? JC in the building, what's good? Eric in the building all day. Let's go. Refuse to lose. We need that Soto mojo. And again, things were great in game 1 and game 2. Not so much in game 3 and game 4. But again, we ended up going, 15 innings in game 5 to get to this point. We knew it was going to be tough. This battle in Seattle is really testing our patience. But again, if we are going to win this series, we can do it in the most Mariner way possible. And obviously doing it the most Mariner way possible would be losing today and winning both games in Toronto. But I think for our mental health, we need to win today, and let's try to win in game 6. If it goes to game 7 after we win today, so be it. But again, I think for the mental health of all Mariner fans, after dropping 2 in a row, we need to get back into that win column, and we need to win at home for the fans. So we got to get the job done here today. Flying Monk with a 5er. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rex with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $5 holla, 95 to go to get to our Dono train. Appreciate you getting us started off on a good foot. Mando in the building, what's good? DKJ in the building, what's good? And again, we need to go back to playing some small ball. Mariners aren't bunting. You're seeing, the manager, not only for the Tigers, but the Blue Jays, kind of outmanage Dan. And again, obviously our pitching hasn't been good at home. The hitting hasn't been good either. But also we've been, sleeping at the base paths, getting caught at first. Leo Rivas, Josh Naylor trying to get into third base, maybe should have stayed. And, there's a number of scenarios where, maybe we had left, some runners on board that we could have possibly brought home. And again, home runs are great. But what's more deadly than a home run is back-to-back-to-back doubles. And you keep that pressure on. And again, it's very hard to get to that moment. But again, you have to realize, moving guys over, is great because, again, at some point, you're putting the pressure on the pitchers. And again, you got to think outside the box. You just can't, manage this team just like every other manager does. When you get to this point in the ALCS and the battle in Seattle, 2 up, 2 down, and we got 3 to go. We're going to need every single advantage here at home as we go on the road to Toronto. And again, this is going to be a big Uncle Mo momentum type of swinging game. And again, I know it hasn't looked good in the last 2 games, but again, remember, have a short-term memory. Remember how great it was in game 1 and game 2. Don't forget that feeling. And again, we worked really hard to get to this point. Again, the Blue Jays are a fantastic team, just like the Brewers and the Dodgers. If we weren't all fantastic and getting hot and healthy at the right time, we wouldn't be here today. So let's lock in. Let's get great 6 innings out of Bryce Miller, and let's get those bats to come alive early and often. Magic number will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. Let's get that number. And again, Bryce Miller to win the game doesn't need to get 10 to 14 Ks. He can get 4 to 7 Ks with some double plays behind him, some ground balls and some pop-ups. We can make this work. Let's get it, baby. Let's go. Bryce Miller on the mound. George Springer walking up to the box. On deck, Nathan Lucas. Batting third, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Trident sub, let's go M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and we need 30 subs to get to 23,100. Let's get it. Ridgeback in the building. What's good? First pitch, takes a strike looking high and away, paints that corner with that sinker beautifully. Exactly what we want to see. 0-1 count. And it's kind of crazy. You know, Bryce is probably, you know, during the regular season, he got beat up a little bit with injuries. But, you know, out of the 5 starters for a good chunk of the year, he was 5 out of 5. And now he might be the most valuable guy that we have on the pitching staff at the moment. You know, the guy that could end up changing this series for the better. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to George Springer. I mean, who would have thought that Bryce Miller would be the guy, you know, at this point? But again, we have to be thankful that we have that much depth, 1 through 5. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to George Springer. 1-2 pitch, low and away with a sweeper, 86 miles an hour there by Miller, missing. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Springer. Anna in the building, what's good? 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. There we go, baby. And we like that. Down goes George Springer, striking out swinging, and a great job by Bryce Miller again. First at bat, first punch out. Way to bring the electricity early. It's Miller time. Next up is left fielder Nathan Lucas. And I like the way that, you know, Bryce is approaching everything, you know, and again, for a guy that, you know, normally is 5th in the rotation, you know, the guy that sometimes is overlooked, you know, again, we've had great outings by all 5 of our guys, Wu, Kirby, Gilbert, Castillo, and Miller. But right now, Miller is stepping up in a huge way. Keep it going. First pitch from Miller to Lucas, fouls it off high and inside, 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Seize the moment. That goes behind the plate. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees with the splitter, missing, 85 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nathan Lucas. And the report card came out, you know, based on all the missed calls yesterday, which we already saw watching the game, and it was not good. Definitely everything that we said on the channel did happen. And again, we'll hope that the umping will be better here today. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners. Miller on the mound, Nathan Lucas in the box. 1-1 pitch, high and away, splitter missing. 2 balls and 1 strike to Nathan Lucas. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle with the 4-seam fastball. 97 miles an hour with that heater by Miller. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 0-0 here early between the Blue Jays and the Mariners in the ALCS Game 5 battle in Seattle. And Miller was magnificent in Game 1, and we're going to need him to be magnificent here in Game 5. Let's go, Bryce. 2-2 pitch, popped up. Suarez chasing. And bobbles it and catches it. Let's go, Gino. Hell yeah. And again, he bobbled it, but he stuck with it. Great job by not running in to Randy Arosarena and getting the job done. Great job, Gino. And what happens when you end up making great defensive plays? Sometimes magic will happen in the box a little bit later. Could this be the day that we get a Gino home run based on good defensive play? Let's go, Gino. I'm here for it. 2 away. Way to help Bryce out. Next up is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Didn't do nothing in the first 2 games and absolutely killed us in games 3 and 4. And first pitch, right in the gap in between Randy and Julio, and Vladdy is a machine. And that is a stand-up double on the first pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And at some point, we may have to just intentionally walk Vladdy because it feels like he's getting doubles and home runs every time he's up. So again, I don't really want to intentionally walk too many guys, but if there's a guy that, maybe we should consider, I think it's Vladdy. I mean, he's been so incredibly hot, in these last 3 games. At some point, if we don't, he's going to hit a home run. And if he hits a home run, it could have a couple guys on. And instead of giving up a solo dinger, it could be a 3-run jack or worse. So something to consider moving forward. First pitch from Miller to Kirk, fouls it off high and inside. And that goes behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks. 0-1 count. Let's go, Bryce. Don't let, someone that's, a Hall of Fame type of player, like Vladdy, disturb, the motion. Keep it moving. Have that confidence. Understand Vladdy's like Cal and Julio. They're going to get theirs, most of the time, and just worry about everybody else. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside with that sinker. He's got some good velocity here today, 97 miles an hour from Bryce Miller. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second, Vladdy, with 2 outs. Let's keep him there at second. TJ in the building, what's good? He's got 2 pitches that have gone back to the T-Mobile bricks. We got the crowd standing up, trying to be able to give a little bit more support than what we got in Game 3 and Game 4. The crowd really wasn't a factor, and we need the crowd to be a factor here today in Game 5. Top of the first, 0-0. Runner at second with 2 outs. 1-2 pitch, fouled off again. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour by Bryce Miller. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. I'm good, TJ. How are you? All right, 52, 48 more to hit that first goal. And it doesn't have to be just TJ. It can be the others in the room as well. All the regulars that are in the room. Help TJ out as well, so that way we can hit our numbers. Let's go. 2-2 pitch or 1-2 pitch. Got him. Let's go. Big swing and a miss. Let's go. Look at that movement on that pitch by Bryce Miller. Let's go. And again, yeah, you ended up giving up the double to Vladdy. Maybe we should think about, walking him, at least once in this particular game so he doesn't hurt us with the big home run or big, RBI doubles in the future. But we leave him stranded. Great job on Bryce Miller, on Alejandro Kirk to get him to wildly swing right there. And a fantastic start for Bryce Miller with 2 Ks here in the first inning. Fan-fucking-tastic. The battle in Seattle is on, and it's just nice that we can actually have someone that we can trust. And it's kind of weird, because again, like I mentioned early in the broadcast, Bryce is normally our worst starter, and now he's our most valuable. We have to be so thankful that we have Bryce available not only for Game 1, but also in Game 5. Let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Making a change in the top of the order, and this should have been done a long time ago. Randy has not been very good. When Victor Robles was the leadoff hitter in JP, it felt a little bit more natural with Randy there. It was just kind of filling in while Victor was hurt. But again, switching it up, I think will help us a lot. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez. You've been hot early in games. Not only do we need you to be hot early, we need you to be hot late as well. Let's go, J-Rod. Batting second, big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. You have to work the count, Cal. You've been getting out way too many at-bats in the first 3 pitches. Work the count, and I promise you, you get to pitch 4, pitch 5. That'll get that home run swing on that torpedo bat deadly for us here today and the rest of the series. Let's go, big dumper. And batting third, Mr. October in the ALDS, as well as in Game 1 or Game 2, but hasn't done as much in Game 3 and Game 4. We need you to return to being Mr. October, Jorge Polanco. Let's get it, baby. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Take a look to see where we're at on the likes. We needed 30 to get to 23,100. We've gained 2 so far. Shout out to the 2 new subs. We appreciate every new sub that we get moving forward. We just broke 23,000 subs just a few days ago, and we're at the 5.1 million view mark. So we broke over 5 million views as well. Next goal will be 10, as well as 25,000 subs. Appreciate you guys very, very much. And let's see if we can get Julio going here early. And not only that, hopefully often. Let's go, J-Rod. And on the mound will be Kevin Gossman, who faced Bryce Miller in Game 1 earlier in the series. Let's go, Julio. And first pitch to Julio Rodriguez is popped up. That's way too easy, Julio. We didn't put you there as the leadoff hitter to get out in the first pitch. Come on, J-Rod. Batting second, center. Oh, baby, come on. The catcher, the best catcher in baseball, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Don't do what Julio did there, Cal. We need to maximize every at-bat. Let's go. First pitch, low and away. 93 miles an hour with the four-seam fastball by Gossman. 1-0 count. Pitch, low and away. Splitter missing, 84 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And not only can you get a better pitch when you wait, not only that helps get the pitch count up. If you're swinging at the first, 2-3 pitches and you're going to help that pitcher out, and we need to be able to get these starters out early, within like the, 5th, inning preferably, as Cal hits one all the way to the wall, out of the mid. Go, baby, go. Go, big dumper. And he slides in safe. Amazing. Almost hits a home run, but it bounces off the glove and the wall. And that's what I'm talking about, big dumper. You end up waiting, you get to that third, that fourth, that fifth pitch, and then you can get one that you can crush, and a great job there. If this was Cal in previous games, he might already be out with a pop-up on a pitch low and away, and that's a great job there by the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go. Our time, our year. The battle in Seattle is on. Let's go. Let's score early. Let's get it. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Nice job by Cal with the double, doing exactly what Vladimir did on the opposite side. But let's see if we can actually bring him home. First pitch, big swing and a miss. Low and away, 0-1 count. Nice job by Cal Raleigh. 0-1 pitch, low and away, splitter missing. 83 miles an hour off speed by Gossman. 1 ball and 1 strike with Cal at second and 1 out. And again, really our problem hasn't been, scoring first or scoring early. We've been doing a good job of that. But then once we get that first home run or that first ribby, then things have kind of died off. The rest of the game, we need to continue to put the pressure on, not only in the first 2 or 3 innings, but in the middle of the game, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and especially late in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Good eye by Polo. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Great job. Great eye by Polo. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. If we can force the pitch count to go up, that could lead to a mini meltdown of guys getting plunked, guys getting walked, and that way we're able to steal bags and get runners in scoring position. And hell, maybe Dan will actually drop a bunt down, for some of these guys in the signal. So that way we can play some small ball like all the other teams that have gone against us have done recently. 3-1 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. That should have been ball 4. Another missed call by this ump. And unbelievable, as it almost hits the ground and he calls that a strike. The umping has been so one-sided in this, matchup in the last, 3 games here in Seattle. And again, I'm looking at all the pitch graphs on MLB.com, ESPN, as well as watching the game. There's no way in hell that should have been a strike. That should already have Polo at first. And these are the type of things that we're talking about, how it changes the momentum of the game. Pitch fouled back. by Jorge Polanco. And a lot of times, when you don't get that person to go, from a walk, it typically will lead to a strikeout, or vice versa. You let a guy that, should have been struck out, you let him go a little bit longer, then it usually will lead into something. So the Mariners versus the umps again, I guess. And just gets a piece of that one with the splitter. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And I'm sick and tired of the series. I want it to be 50-50. But now it ends up being 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And what happens when you get screwed on a call? A couple pitches later, it turns into a strikeout, just like I mentioned. And there it is. And we should have Polo at first right now. Terrible. Next up is Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. We got to face the adversity. Not only are we going against the Blue Jays, apparently we're going against the umps as well. And again, I don't mind stuff, that's inside the box, outside the box, that's called correctly, even if it's on the line. I don't care. But when it's clearly a ball or clearly a strike and it's not called, it definitely affects, not only that player, but the overall momentum of the game. We got a battle. First pitch from Gossman to Naylor, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. And nothing makes me more frustrated is when it ends up being something that, it should be a strikeout for us, but then you give him a ball, and you continue the at-bat. Or we should have had a walk right there, and then it went a couple more pitches later and he turned it into a strikeout. There's nothing more frustrating, especially in games that mean so much to the fan base. We just want it to be 50-50, not 70-30, not fucking 90-10, 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. And obviously this guy has no consistency because these last 2 pitches where he called a strike on Polo, now he's calling ball for Naylor. Have some fucking consistency, man. Can we get the ABS? Lee. And it's not like this is something that we're going to be talking about every game. We know the umps are traditionally bad, but it seems like lately it's definitely been a tough battle that we've had to fight. No doubt about that. 2-1 pitch and little slow dribbler towards first, toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. And again, if we would have gotten the Polo walk, which we deserved since that was out of the zone low, that almost hit the dirt and was on the ground, we would have had Cal at second and Polo at first. And who knows, maybe we end up getting an RBI or maybe we get a home run, but we'll never know because, that's the way the game is being called apparently against Seattle these last 3 games at home. End of the first inning, 0-0. Blue Jays and Mariners. That's not one thing that I was really thinking that we were going to have to battle with is, the umps on top of Toronto and Toronto's manager as well. But here we are. Gain 2 more subs, 26 subs to go to 23,100. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Once we hit that, we'll go 200, 200, and then 50 to 100. Let's go. Next up for the Blue Jays in the top of the second, center fielder in the 5-hole, Dalton Varsho. Batting second, second baseman in the 6-hole, Ernie Clement. And batting 7th, right fielder, Addison Barger. All right, 74 likes, 26 more to get to 100. Let's go. And this is not just like a Mariners thing. This is like a league-wide problem, that we've had with umps and, It's one of those things, Angel Hernandez, might be retired, but we're still feeling his presence with a lot of these other umps. And again, I guarantee Blue Jay fans are going to be complaining in the same, type of way. It's not going to be just us that are going to be complaining about some of these calls. And again, it's one thing if you have a bad call on the first pitch, a ball, a strike, a ball, that doesn't affect the overall at bat, but when it ends up being deeper in the count, when it could lead to a strikeout or a walk, and you call the opposite, that's where the momentum and the game kind of shifts based on the ump's control, which is not ideal. First pitch from Miller to Varsho, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. But again, even with, the adversity that we have to, go through, we're gonna find a way. 0-1 pitch, high and away, four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike to Dalton Varsho. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Bryce. It's Miller time, baby. Top of the second inning, 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners, ALCS Game 5, the battle in Seattle. 1-1 pitch, takes a big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dalton Varsho. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. He's got some nice velocity and heat right now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dalton Varsho. Let's go, Bryce. Two pitch, fouled off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dalton Varsho. Daddy has to work, honey. Lay down, take a nap. Take a nap. Top of the second inning, 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners. 2-2 pitch popped up, and Rivas is there, and that is 1 away. Nice job, Leo. Next up, second baseman Ernie Clement. Let's go, Bryce. Keep wheeling and dealing. Yes, Ducks game against Rutgers tomorrow. And I met up with my good friend, from Collegiate Art Designs, the owner that makes the duck chains. And I ended up getting a brand new one that just hit the market that glows in the dark, and it has all the different colors and whatnot. So I'll be debuting that on the stream tomorrow as well. 0-1 pitch, bunted foul by Ernie Clement. And again, at least somebody's bunting. No balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Clement. Top of the second inning, 0-0, Blue Jays and Mariners. And I did notice that there will be some opportunities for some custom Mariner chains as well that I might end up getting also. So looking forward to that. 0-2 pitch and lined out. What a play! And Jorge Polanco wouldn't have made that play. Nice job by Leo Rivas. And obviously we know Leo, fell asleep at first and got thrown out, by inches, but he's coming up big defensively here today. And look at the athleticism. And that definitely would have been a base hit. Nice job by Leo making his presence known on defense here early. Great job, Leo. Next up is right fielder Addison Barger. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Really the only concern, obviously having Julio lead off, if he works the count, it'll work out, great. And moving Randy lower in the lineup. Really the big concern is, why is Victor Robles not playing 2 games in a row? We feel that his defense and hitting should be, on the same level as Dom, if not slightly better, especially defensively. So again, for Victor not to play yesterday, that's one thing, but why is Victor not playing today? Why is Dom playing over Victor? That's a question. But if Dom ends up getting a Dom bomb, then obviously we have no issue with that. So hopefully Dom will be able to make some magic happen. And if not, then we can get Victor in later, after Dom goes, if, for example, 0 for 3, let's make the substitution. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Addison Barger. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Miller on the mound, Barger in the box. But I do like Randy getting dropped down in the lineup. He wasn't very good as a leadoff hitter anyways. Not a really prototypical body and player that's normally a leadoff hitter. And, we'll see if Julio can step up to the plate. Obviously, having Leo Rivas lead off or JP leading off would make more sense, but they want those guys at the end of the lineup, and hopefully it'll work out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 2 outs. Bryce is looking good. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And Miller is on fire, baby. Let's go. And another punch out by Bryce Miller. Where was this? Out of guys like Luis Castillo and others and George Kirby. We really needed George and Luis to be like Bryce. And Bryce is showing, hey, I can be the 5 guy, 5 out of 5 in the rotation, but I can play like a fucking 1. Let's go. Nice job, Bryce Miller. You're earning a lot of respect, not only through Mariners fan base, but the fan bases that are all over the globe. You're doing a fucking great job. Keep it going. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and let's get on the board. What do you say? Leading off for the Mariners in the 5 hole, which is probably the right spot for Randy, if we're being honest. Left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second in the 6 hole, 3rd baseman Eugenio Suarez. And batting 3rd in the 7 hole, shortstop, ice water in his veins, J.P. Crawford. Kevin Gossman on the mound. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Seize the moment. The battle in Seattle. Let's get it. And again, I have confidence in every scenario. We win today. We lose on game 6. We win in game 7. We lose today. We win game 6 and game 7 in Toronto. Or we win today and we win game 6 and we move on to the World Series. More than likely against the Dodgers if they can win today with Ohtani on the mound and they end up sweeping the Brewers. And if they end up winning 1 game, Milwaukee, you would assume that the series will be over 1 more game after, possibly in game number 6. Dodgers winning either in a sweep today or winning in 5. So we'll see where it goes. And obviously the Dodgers look like the best team. They will be the most rested. And again, we just have to find a way for our fan base to keep their mental health at a good level and win today. And then we'll see where the chips fall in game 6 or game 7. But I still think that we can win this. First pitch from Gossman to Arozarena takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. All right, All Day says we're at 100. Let's get to 2 with 283 in the room. Great job, All Day. And great job, TJ and everyone else helping with that. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away with the slider, 85 miles an hour off speed. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. And again, I would love to be able to see the Mariners drop a bunt or two. Again, small ball works. Look at every time the Tigers bunted and the Blue Jays have bunted. It's not like they're bunting and popping up and popping out. Most of the time, these guys are getting on and end up coming home. 0-2 pitch, and Randy with a slow dribbler to third, throw to first, and that is one away. Next up is Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. You made a good defensive play early. Let's see if we can get that bat to come alive. Let's go, baby. And I do like Randy next to Gino. And Gino crushes it. It's going deep. And it is gone. Let's go. What did I say? My ESP is on point, baby. What did I tell you guys? When you make a big play defensively and then you end up coming up, what happens? It juices you up and then you end up hitting a homer. And that's like the 5th time that we've been able to call that play. Defense creates offense. 1-0 Mariners. Let's go. Let's go, baby. And again, you just have to realize what baseball is about, and again, if you can, understand, these little subtle things in baseball, that defense creates offense, and again, it gives that player a little bit more juice. And there we go. I told you Gino had a good chance of homering today, even though he's been ice cold and probably the most unreliable hitter. But there he goes. He does it, baby. 1-0 Seattle. Hell yeah. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Let's keep the momentum going, baby. 0-1 pitch. After that foul ball, takes a strike swinging low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Ice water in his veins. Let's go. But I do like Randy next to Gino because that particular reason right there, if Randy was able to get plunked or walked or get a single, it would have been 2-0 right now. So I think Randy and Gino, both guys struggle, but if we can have them next to each other, it could turn into some magic. Let's go. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. And always remember, if you see a great defensive play and that individual ends up coming up to bat, there's a very good chance that you're going to get some magic in the box. And we just did. Let's go. 1-2 pitch. High and away. And again, right on the corner on the line. That could have been strike 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Low and away with the splitter off speed. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Let's see if J.P. can force a walk here. 3-2 pitch, and there it is. There's the walk, baby. I like it. Nice job, J.P. Use that baseball IQ, baby. Next up is Dominic Canzone. So this is really the question mark here. But if Dom can end up going yard, or getting a single, a double, getting plunked, getting walked, and just making his at-bats count. He's been on a little bit of a slump, and when we think Victor Robles, yeah, he's not a hot hitter either, but we like his defense a little bit more in right field compared to Dom, and both guys struggle in the box. But I think that more times than not, Dom was hot for a period of time, but it's kind of cooled off. We want to make sure that if we're playing Dom over Victor, he has to earn it, because again, you got a guy that's sitting there. And there is Dom, but line drive to Barger. Ooh. And we have not got too much luck with balls hit hard into the outfield. We've been doing a lot of line drives. We need that to hit the gap. But I like that. That's a lot better than a slow dribbler that we've seen out of Dom recently. So, yeah, he got out, but that might be a good sign for later in the game. 2 away. Next up, a guy that's making defensive plays, second baseman Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. If Gino can make a great defensive play and go yard, we know that, you might have a small, body structure like a J.P. Crawford and others like Cole Young, but you got a little bit more power in your bat. Let's see if we can get a single, a double, ground rule double, home run, or if you can draw a walk. But with a 0-2 count, it's going to be tough. Pitch foul back. No balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. But Leo's definitely has more power, based on his size compared to other guys that are in similar stature. JP, Ben Williamson, Cole Young, guys that you don't really expect anything. But Leo's a guy that can, break out. He just needs to be able to be patient in the box and wait for those perfect pitches. His defense has been magnificent. He's trying to make up for that blunder at first, yesterday, and I believe that he will. 5'8", 150. 28 years old, 10 years in the farm with 3 other teams. Let's go. 0-2 pitch, fouled off. No balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. 0-2 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. And again, it's not like we predict Gino to go yard, every game. We know he's so streaky and so inconsistent, and we get mad, based on his, swing selection and sometimes even his defense, right? But again, there's going to be times, like I said earlier in the series, where, people are calling him out, complaining, but he can end up being a hero for us. And so far, giving us that early 1-0 lead. Great job, Gino. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. I was a little bit concerned that we had Polo at DH again, because I think Polo plays better when he's out there playing defense as well. But again, Leo has made some good plays. Now we just need him to make plays in the box. Pitch fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. It just seems like Polo plays a little bit better. He's at second base, but we know his defense isn't very good. Leo's a better defender at second, but we just want Polo's bat to be hot, like it was in Game 1 and Game 2 and ALDS Game number 5. 2-2 pitch, fouled off again. And to start it off on an 0-2 count and to be able to get it to pitch 8, that shows you how good Leo Rivas really is. Great job working the count, getting the pitch count up. And again, if we could just get Julio, leading off to have that same type of mentality, maybe we could end up getting Gossman out of the game, sooner than later. And Rivas strikes out swinging, but that was a good at-bat, getting the pitch count up. And again, he started off on an 0-2 count and got it to pitch like 9. So that's not something that you typically see guys do. And hopefully Leo will be able to come up with some magic later in the game. But again, if you make a great defensive play, don't be surprised if you end up coming up in that next inning. Just like that bobble catch that he had in foul territory, it turned into something magical. And again, ESP reigns strong again. 1-0 M's. Great job, Gino. A no-doubter. 396 feet in left center. Great job, Gino. And again, you're a very streaky player, but, at the time that we need you the most, that's when he's going to show up. Great job. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the third for the Toronto Blue Jays. Leading off in the 8-hole, second baseman Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who's really making the most of his opportunity, being a bench guy. But obviously Anthony Santander has a back issue and will no longer be playing in the series. So Kiner-Falefa, we've seen him go from team to team and kind of be a floater around the league. And hopefully we can limit the damage out of Isaiah here today. Batting second, a killer to the Mariners lately in the 9-hole of all spots, shortstop Andres Jimenez. He's been fantastic. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, DHing George Springer. Let's take a look at the stats so far with our pitchers. So Bryce Miller going in here, obviously in the third inning, 2 innings pitched, only 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks, 30 pitches, 21 strikes. Great job. And then Gossman's at 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and we got his pitch count up to 35 in only 2 innings with 22 strikes. So again, if we can keep this pace up and get a couple other long at-bats other than just Leo, we might be able to get him out sooner than later, especially if we can get on a nice little rally of back-to-back doubles or back-to-back-to-back singles or back-to-back doubles that lead to a home run after. Let's go. gained 3 subs since the last commercial break. 23 subs to go to 23,100. Let's go. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. $90 to get to 200. Let's get there, baby. And again, our problem in Seattle and in general isn't about we have a hard time scoring first or scoring early. We've been doing good at that. And first pitch to Kiner Falefa, and he gets a big double to left, and that's right in front of Randy. No surprise. And we got to prevent those from getting to Randy. We got to have Gino make plays if he can. And again, Randy's lack of hustle and his lob throws from left field are aggravating. And again, just like I was giving praise to Kiner Falefa, he has been a big spark for them after Anthony Santander had the back issue. Stop it, Isaiah. Next up, shortstop, Andres Jimenez. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners with a solo dinger by Gino after making a great defensive play earlier in the matchup. You know, we usually have pretty good ESPN predictions here. And again, I'm not going to be 100% correct. No one is. But we definitely have a good pulse on the game. And, you know, we have come up with quite a few predictions that have come true. And, you know, we need this dub desperately. Let's go Mariners. Tridents up in the battle in Seattle. 1-0 pitch. Fouls went off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Jimenez. I think with Wu, there's a chance, you know, that we might end up seeing him, you know, later in this matchup. There's a chance, you know, and obviously same thing goes in game 6 or game 7, but again, they're not going to rush him. We don't know at this point if he's good enough to start in game 6 or game 7. It kind of looks like he's more going to have to go to the bullpen first before they make a decision on him starting, you know, because the last thing that we need in these, you know, close matchups is him to come in, play like Kirby, give up 5 or 6 runs in the first or second inning, and then we lose. You know, we want to make the World Series, so we have to be very careful on how we approach Wu. We don't want him to have a setback. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andres Jimenez. 1-2 pitch. And hard hit there to Naylor. Let's go. Big double play. Are you kidding me? Josh Naylor. And what did I say? If you make a great defensive play and you end up coming up, maybe that means that in the near future, you know, we're going to get one of these out of who? Nails, the big grumper, Josh Naylor. If you're going to make defensive plays like that, where you can catch it on the ground and have the awareness to throw it to second, to be able to get Kiner Falefa out, those are the type of plays that win you fucking games. And I guarantee, you know, if Josh doesn't homer, he's going to do something special later in this matchup. Great job. First pitch to Springer, fouled off. You know, defense creates offense, and it's not just in baseball. You know, and the same goes in football and basketball and hockey. Great job by Naylor. I love it. I'm a big defensive guy, as you can tell. Let's go, Bryce. Keep it going. We have the momentum. Let's keep it. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to George Springer as that dribbles towards third base, foul. I mean, you can never underestimate, you know, the difference on having good first and third base players, you know. And again, we love Ben Williamson, but he couldn't really hit. He was great at defense, but he couldn't really hit. And yeah, Gino, he has a hard time hitting too, even though he's got like, you know, 50 home runs. But how many times does he strike out before he gets a home run? You know, he's like good once every 5 to 6 games. Not really ideal for, you know, the Mariner fan base, but it is what it is. But with Josh, we haven't seen anybody at first base like him ever. I mean, we've had Ty France and Olerud and a few others, but very special. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to George Springer. Defense creates offense, baby. And hopefully if Josh ends up going yard, hopefully we have 1 or 2 guys on base. So that way it ends up being like a 3-run jack and we can extend our lead instead of him just hitting a solo dinger, which we won't complain if he does, making it 2-0 or whatever the score is at that point. But we could really use a big 3-run bomb, at some point, or a 2-run jack to help us extend the lead. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to George Springer. Springer in the box, Bryce Miller on the mound. And Bryce Miller pitching in the ALCS as if he is Brian Wu and he is the number 1. And I love it. And a slow dribbler right in front of Bryce, scoops it up with patience. Little lob, nailer, toe tap, and there we go. Great job for Bryce not to freak out, understanding that he's going to have to cover first once in a while, and he's also going to have to make accurate flips to Naylor. Great job for out number 3. Let's go. Let's keep the momentum going. And if we can get to Josh Naylor in this particular inning, the magic may happen right away. Let's go. Leading off for the Mariners in the bottom of the 3rd. Don't swing at the first pitch. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez worked the count. Now, of course, we know Julio and Cal have swung at first pitches and hit home runs, throughout the season. There's no doubt about that. But again, you can also work the count and get that same pitch a little bit later, and that way the pitch count goes up. Pitcher ends up, getting a little bit more winded and tired. And then if you get it to pitch 4, pitch 5, we might end up getting that home run at that point as well. Just work the count, trust your instincts. Let's go, Julio. Especially if you're leading off over Randy. We don't want to have the same type of result as Randy Arosarena leading off, which is pretty much nothing most of the time. We want Julio to be productive. Let's go, J-Rod. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a double already. The big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Keep it going, Cal. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, DHing Jorge Polanco. And if we can get one of these guys on board, Julio, Cal, or Polo, I'm really looking forward to this at-bat right here by Josh Naylor after making that big double play. We've already seen Gino make one great defensive play. Boom! Hits a home run. Josh Naylor gets a double play. Could we get a home run from him? I sure as hell hope so. Let's go. And then best case scenario, Julio, Cal, and Polo all get on with either a hit or a walk. And then Naylor comes up with a grand salami, and then we're up 5-0. Just trying to talk this shit into existence for us. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Mariners. But that would be the best case scenario out of a defensive play by Naylor, getting a double play, turning into something magical, and getting us 4 more runs here in the 3rd. Let's go, baby. Trident's up, seize the moment. The battle in Seattle is ours. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 300 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we need how many subs to get to 23,100? How many more now? It's like we need 23. 23 subs to go to 23,100. Let's go. An absolutely fantastic job by Bryce Miller. And again, pitching has been an issue, right? Pitching and defense. And if the pitching and defense is going to be on point, trust me, the hitting will follow. Again, we just can't let the pitching and defense be bad, and that, discourages our guys in the box. We want to make sure we're keeping the vibes high. Yeah, but you're the only one that may think like that, Marine Bean. But again, if it ends up hurting us more than helping us at some point, you might have that mentality because you're a little bit older, but the game has changed. You're not going to hit a home run every single time on the first pitch. And it's not a guarantee a first pitch is going to be right down the middle like it used to be, when they would get ahead of the count. Sometimes it's in the zone, sometimes it's not. Depends on the pitcher. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. But if you want to have that old school mentality, Marine Bean, go right ahead. But I would rather have guys work the count. Every once in a while, if you want to go at it for that, Happy Gilmore swing on the first pitch, go right ahead. But I don't want it to lead to strikeouts and double plays if you do it. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Seattle. We need to get the pitch count up. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. And that one almost hits Julio. And again, had to learn from that first at bat. And if you can hit a home run on the first swing, you can still hit a home run on pitch 4 and pitch 5. It's going to be the same type of pitch with just a couple more pitches that, are being used. And then at some point, the fatigue is going to kick into Gossman. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. And a lot of times, if it goes higher in the pitch count, right, the advantage goes to the batter. Velocity, not as high. Location, a little shaky. 2-2 pitch, and Julio flies out to right. And that is 1 away. Down goes J-Rod. Hopefully it'll lead to something later in the matchup, but so far 0 for 2. Let's go, Julio. Work the count. Next up is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. 1 for 1. And let's see if we can get Cal going. First pitch to Cal. Low and at the knees. 4-seam fastball. Good eye. 1-0 count. Let's go, Big Dumper. Let's go, Cal. One-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. If Cal can be patient enough to draw a walk. We've seen Cal draw, 10, 11, 12 pitch walks. So we know he can grind out at bats. But he's starting to lose a little bit of momentum here. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees by Gossman. 3 balls and no strikes to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Appreciate that. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And again, he's not just like some guy, and doing beats in the basement. I mean, he's got thousands of dollars of equipment, a lot of passion, and and obviously you can tell at some point, he is going to blow up. And again, I've been his number 1 supporter. I've been his number 1 fan, and it's just great that we can end up working together. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. 3-1 pitch, fouled off high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 1-0 Mariner lead with a Eugenio Suarez solo dinger after making a great defensive play earlier in the matchup. And hopefully we get the same thing with Josh Naylor here tonight. The creativity from my boy Brooks is insane. And again, I'm his number 1 fan. I listen to the beats more than I listen to new music that, comes out, or even old music. I go into the file and I'll just go and have it in the background while I'm doing, chores and whatnot. Or just, I want to listen, that's how much I believe in him and how much, I appreciate his hard work. 3-2 pitch, and down goes Cal, and that is 2 away. And we need to be able to get these guys at the top of the order on base as often as possible. Cal already has a double, but that was a nasty one there by Kevin. And Gossman gets the punch out on Cal, and that is 2 away. Great pitch by Kevin with that electricity for the Blue Jay fan base. Next up for Gossman, next up is Jorge Polanco. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. Yeah, and even though that, he would, give me a lot of the things for free, if we end up getting support with the donos, obviously, I want to be able to pay him every month, for his creativity and his hard work. So 1-0 pitch, low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. You want to make sure that if you have friends, that do have talent, not to doubt themselves, that, if you have dreams and goals and you actually have the talent and the drive, sometimes you need that little nudge, from someone else that has had some success going through the grind, that you can do it and you can make it. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. And it's crazy to, see him make things from scratch, not using a whole lot of samples, just, doing it on his own. A very creative mind, and I think that's why we vibe. 1-2 pitch, and that one's fouled off towards that first base line by Polo. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Come on, Polo. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, and that is the end of the third inning. 1-0 Seattle. Nice pitch there by Gossman with another punch out, bringing a little bit of electricity here. We're not haters. Nice job by Kevin. And now let's go to the top of the fourth inning and see who's up next here for the Toronto Blue Jays. Next up for the Blue Jays, 0 for 1, left fielder Nathan Lucas. Batting second, 1 for 1, first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And again, at some point, we may have to intentionally walk him. It might be better than him getting a single, double, triple, or home run, especially if someone's on base already, and then he ends up getting a 2-run jack or a 3-run bomb, and it costs us the game. We have to be very careful on how we pitch to Vladdy. And hitting third, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher Alejandro Kirk. End of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners. And again, we have Eugenio Suarez to thank. Out of all people, maybe the least consistent guy in the starting lineup. But again, every once in a while, he'll make a great play on D, and that great play on D will lead to a great play on O. Solo dinger, 396 feet, 1-0 Mariners. Nice job, Gino. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 300 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we need 23 subs to get to 23,100. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Bryce Miller on the mound. Nathan Lucas in the box. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Seize the moment. The battle in Seattle. ALCS game number 5. First pitch, takes a strike, looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Bryce is pitching so well, that if it were to go to game 7, I know he probably wouldn't be able to go because obviously he already pitched game 1 and game 5. But you almost wish that if it were to go to game 7, if we don't win today and obviously game 6, that Bryce could pitch again in game 7. That's how great he's been, in this particular series. And that's a great thing to see. And a line drive. And that's a fair ball. And Canzone finally gets to it. And another double by Nathan Lucas and the Toronto Blue Jays. Too many doubles here, and now they automatically walk Vladdy, so it looks like they got my memo. Obviously getting the double with that batter. You don't want him to hit a 2-run jack, but now you have to make sure that you get the other guys in the middle of the order, Kirk, Varsho, and Clement. They can't hit that big 3-run jack. We have to make sure, that we're getting a strikeout and a double play or a double play and a strikeout. We have to make sure that, we're, playing clear, cut, smart, intelligent baseball. Top of the fourth inning, runners at first and second. Lucas with a double, intentionally walked Vladdy, which I think was the right decision. And now with runners at first and second, we just have to get some out. First pitch from Miller to Kirk. Takes a strike, looking 0-1 count. And Miller has been such a great pitcher in game 1. Not only that, in game 5, everything is pretty much in the box. Not necessarily right down the middle. Every once in a while, inside or low and away, but everything has been close to the strike zone. No other pitcher, has really done that in this series besides Bryce. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, low and away with the sinker, 95 miles an hour by Miller. 1 ball and 1 strike to Alejandro Kirk. Michael in the building, what's good? Let's go, M's. Trident's up. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Alejandro Kirk. And again, we'll see how this ump ends up calling the game with, pitches that are high and low and inside and outside an inch off the plate or 2 inches off the plate. Sometimes they're going to call them balls. Sometimes they're going to call them strikes. There's not a whole lot of consistency with these umps in Seattle in these last 3 games. 2 balls and 1 strike to Alejandro Kirk. 2-1 pitch, high and away on the corner, but doesn't get the call. Leaning more towards ball than strike, but we'll see where it goes. 3-1 pitch, and now we got bases loaded. Uh-oh. And that was something I was hoping that wasn't going to happen. And now we have bases loaded, no outs, and it doesn't mean that they're going to score 5, but again, we have to limit the damage here. Next up is Dalton Varsho. We need a strikeout and a double play desperately. And if we're going to give up a run, let's just give up 1. Not give up 2 or 3 or 4. If we're already in this situation, we want to make sure that, we limit the damage. And if they tie the game up, I think we can all live with that, with bases loaded and no outs. But we don't want to get down 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, right? We want to make sure that we're, keeping it close. And again, if we give up a run, so be it, like on a sac fly. But if we can end up getting some magic, out of Gino and Naylor with their defense, and we can come up with another big play, that could help, stave us a couple runs. And it's still early, my guy. Out with the negativity, my guy. And even if they were to get to 3 or 4, that doesn't mean the game is over. The vibes are different today. Top of the 4th inning, bases loaded, no outs. Let's get the job done. We can hold them to 1 or none, but you got to be able to hit your zones and hit your spots. Come on, Bryce. First pitch fouled off right down the middle with the slider. 0-1 count. A pop-up and a double play. A ground ball and a double play. A strikeout and a double play. A double play and a strikeout. There's a lot of ways we can go about this. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dalton Varsho. Top of the 4th inning, 1-0 Seattle. Bases loaded, no outs. Miller on the mound, Varsho in the box. Come on, Bryce. They got Spire warming up in the pen. Don't bring in him. Christ. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dalton Varsho. Just got to get this 1 out at a time. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away, 95 miles an hour by Miller, good velocity. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dalton Varsho. Give us the punch out here. We need to strike out bad, please. Double play or strikeout. Come on, Miller. Top of the 4th inning, bases loaded, no outs, 1-0 Seattle. Miller on the mound, Varsho in the box. 1-2 pitch, bang! Got him, baby. Let's go. You got to have faith. You just can't turn your back on this team as soon as we face adversity. And there we go. Down goes Dalton Varsho. Great job by Bryce Miller with a nasty pitch there with the splitter. See ya. And another punch out for Bryce. Way to be. Next up, Ernie Clement. Let's go. Slow dribbler right up the middle to JP. A throw to Naylor. We get out of the inning unscathed. 1-0. Seattle still has the lead. Let's go. We got no time for negativity, okay? The series is tied 2-2. Positive vibes only. Top of the 4th inning, bases loaded with 1 out. Slow dribbler to JP, throw to Naylor. Double play, get out of the inning before that runner tries to come home and hit that home plate. First pitch. And a slow dribbler there. Double play, what'd I tell you? What'd I tell you, baby? Bang! Have some faith, okay? If you won't believe, I'll believe for you. Let's go. If this is game 3 or game 4, yeah, maybe we end up giving up 3, 4, 5 runs, right? But this is not game 3. This is not game 4. This is fucking game 5. Battle in Seattle, our time, our year. Let's go. And again, just because it sounds crazy doesn't mean that it can't happen. You have to have faith. We got this far. We're not backing down, okay? We might have lost the battle temporarily in game 3 and game 4. We are not losing the war. And think about how many times a situation like that would happen, where you don't get the strikeout, you don't get the double play. But if you talk it into existence, we got Gino with a good defensive play. I told you Gino was going to hit a home run. What did he do? He hit a home. I told you we're going to get a strikeout and a double play. What happens? We got a strikeout. We got a little slow dribbler right in front of Cal for a double play. Make it make sense. It freaks me out sometimes, but hell, let's get it done. Let's go M's. Now let's take advantage. That might have been the turning point in the game, and again, you have to be positive. You can't have all these negative thoughts. And we already had the negativity in game 3 and game 4, okay? Positive vibes. I will talk us to victory. Let's go. Trust your boy. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and let's get on the board again. Next up, after making that big double play with Cal and Naylor, 0 for 1. First baseman, Josh Naylor. Would love for Naylor to go yard or at least get on with a single or a double. Let's go Nails. Batting second, 0 for 1. Left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Let's get plunked. Let's get hit by a pitch or maybe take a walk. Get on base. If you can't swing and connect, find a way. And batting third, 1 for 1 with a run and an RBI. A little line drive towards third base all the way to the left field wall. That sounds pretty good to me. Let's go, Gino. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Gain a couple more subs. 21 more subs to 23,100. Let's go. Mando with a 5er. The O in Mojo, baby. You know it. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Others won't believe. People will think I'm crazy. I'm telling you, the ESP is real. Let's go, baby. I mean, if that's the way that we have to get Randy on base, I don't want anyone to get hurt. But he is the guy that gets hit the most. We don't have Ty France on the team anymore, And again, as long as Randy doesn't get hurt and he gets hit, on the leg or the foot or the arm, but he's okay. I just need guys on base. Let's go. First pitch from Gossman to Naylor, fouls it off, 0-1 count. I mean, normally I'm not going to root for a guy to get hit. Obviously getting a walk is more preferred, but Randy is the guy that get hit. He does get hit the most on the team, so. And again, getting that strikeout and that double play, beautiful. And again, sometimes you can't explain why things happen, but if you talk it into existence, things can happen. And Naylor, let's go! Let's go! Go, Naylor! There we go. You make a great defensive play, boom, leads into a single. Nice job by Nails. There we go. Nice job, Josh. Here we go. Momentum is flowing through our veins. Let's go. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Find a way to get on base, Randy. Take a walk, get hit in the arm, unless you're able to do some fucking magic and get a single, double, triple, or home run. We'll take that as well. First pitch from Gossman to Randy. Big swing and a miss, low and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Well, Angry Whale, you considered it called points, not hits and runs, so not sure how valid your comment is. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. It's hits and runs, not points, my guy. Get your terminology down. Bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Seattle. 1-1 pitch. And Randy, slow dribbler, bobbled, and no double play. And that is one away with the fielder's choice at second. Down goes Naylor. Would have been better if Randy just would have got plunked or walked. Next up is Eugenio Suarez. Let's see if Gino's got a little bit of that magic still left. Let's go, Gino. Defense creates offense. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Come on, Gino. Bottom of the fourth inning, runner at first with one out, 1-0 Mariners. And it would have been really nice if Naylor was still on board, but we still have Randy at first. And Randy almost getting caught at first. And again, they know how desperately we want to get to second base. And we are a pretty good, base stealing team, but also we've had our bugaboos where we've been caught napping at first or in between the base paths. We got to be very careful, when we're attempting the steal. Pitch is low and away with that slider by Gossman missing, 84 miles an hour off speed. 1-1 strike to Gino. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2-1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. If Gino gets a double towards that third base line into left field, Randy will score from first. But just can we get that ball deep enough, into the area that normally Randy is in left field? Two balls and one strike to Eugenio Suarez. And Gino pops it up. Should be a routine play. And it is. And that is 2 away. Varsho there in center. Next up, ice water in his veins. 7-hole hitter today. First at bat with a walk, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. And we know J.P. has the ability, to be able to, take the game in his own hands, not only defensively, but sometimes in the box. Would be a great time for JP to hit a home run to go up 3-0. Throw to first, and Randy is safe. First pitch, the JP Crawford takes a strike looking high and away, and that pitch is outside, should be a ball. Come on. Sick and tired of these umps with these shitty-ass calls. Call the ball a ball. Call the strike a strike. If it says outside of the box, why are you calling it a strike? Come on, my guy. Especially when you've been calling other pitches in the same spot ball in this game. Have some fucking consistency. And Randy steals second. Boom, safe. And no throw by Alejandro Kirk. There we go. Nice job by Randy. After throwing to first, trying to get him sleeping like Leo did, even though Leo got out by like a millisecond. Randy with the great jump. No throw by Kirk. Sliding in. And we'll see where it goes. 1-1 pitch. And that's popped up, and that is out number 3. End of the fourth inning, 1-0 Mariners. And again, we might have to wait for Gossman to exit, but it kind of feels, like that big inning of 1 to 4 runs is on the cusp. Like we're just about to break out. Is it going to be against Gossman or after Gossman leaves? We'll have to wait and find out, but it definitely feels like that big inning is on the horizon. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the 5th for the Toronto Blue Jays. Next up for the Blue Jays, 0-for-1 with a K, right fielder Addison Barger. Batting second, 1-for-1, second baseman in the 8-hole, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And batting third, 0-for-1 in the 9-hole, shortstop Andres Jimenez. And on the mound, our stud, Bryce Miller. Trident's up. Seize the moment. Let's go, M's. Gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. Now we only need 19 more to get to 23,100. Where are we at on the sub count right now? Or not the sub count, but the likes. We got 353 in the room. How close are we to 200? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 300 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we need 19 subs to get to 23,100. Let's go. We just hit 5.1 million views on the channel, 23,000 plus subs. Let's keep it going. TJ says we have 48 to get to 200. And again, it doesn't have to be just TJ, others in the room. You know, if you're in the room and you're typing and you're one of the regulars, help us out. Every single person with words of encouragement can help some of those people that are just watching that are never going to donate or comment, you know, sub possibly or possibly not, to get those people to at least hit that like button for our metrics. Let's go. Team effort, baby. Steven with a tenner, appreciate you. Another $10 holla on the dono train, appreciate you. I got you, and you got me, appreciate it. First pitch, Miller to Barger, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Jason in the building, what's good? 0-1 pitch. And Barger with a single to center. Nice hit there by Addison Barger. Next up is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And we need a strikeout in a double play or a double play and a strikeout. Let's go. Slow dribbler to JP, throw to Naylor. Or get the strikeout here with Kiner-Falefa first and then the double play. Let's go. Miller's day is done, and I don't know if this is the correct move by Dan Wilson. You know, it's one thing, a guy like Bryce out, and then you end up going with like, you know, Brash, Bizzardo, and then like Aspire. But then if you're gonna go with like, you know, one of the guys that's kind of shaky, you know, and you go with like Aspire and then like a Vargas, it doesn't make any sense, you know. And again, you know, we want to make sure we're playing our best guys at the right time. And I'm not sure if I agree with pulling Miller. Obviously, he got himself into a little bit of a jam with the bases loaded after we had to walk Vladdy. But what happened? We got out of it. You know, we ended up getting the big play, the strikeout and the double play, and we're up 1-0. It's not like he gave up a home run. It's not like he, you know, gave up the lead. So let's just hope, you know, based on the guys that come in, that they can be, you know, better than Bryce. And at least they went with Brash instead of Spire. So at least I can feel, you know, good about that. Now, Brash has had some meltdowns, just like Bizzardo and Spire, but I feel, you know, hopefully Brash will be the good Brash here. So. Let's take a look at Bryce's final line. And yeah, he's been giving up hits, but nothing that really hurt us too bad, right? 4 innings pitched. He gave up 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, which isn't ideal. 4 Ks, could have been a little bit better. 56 pitches, 39 strikes. And again, hopefully by bringing Brash in, we get the good Brash, not the bad. Because if we get the bad, then the game is going to be tied or we're going to be down. But if we get the good Brash and he can pitch an inning or two, it could be the difference between, us squeaking out a close win or maybe not. So let's just hope that Brash is good. If Brash is good, we're going to be fine. But again, if Brash is bad, then we were probably going to be thinking, well, maybe we should have went with Bryce. But again, Bryce has been giving up hits in the last few innings. But again, the hits didn't lead to runs. So we will find out. First pitch from Brash to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Big swing and a miss, low and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, and Kiner-Falefa bunts foul. No balls and 2 strikes to Kiner-Falefa. I mean, Tigers and Blue Jays, they play small ball. I wish Dan Wilson would implement that strategy too. When we went on our 9 consecutive series win streak at the beginning of the year, we were bunting often, and again, I don't expect us to bunt 3-4 times a game, but doing it once or twice would be fun, and it usually works out for the team that does it, since no team in baseball practices defense against bunting. 0-2 pitch, popped up. Shallow center field, Julio is there. And that is 1 away. Nice job by Julio Rodriguez. No fly zone in full effect, my boy. 1 away. Next up is Andres Jimenez. And pitch fouled off right down the middle with the sinker there by Brash. 0-1 count. And you can always tell with our bullpen guys, if they're on or not. If they're getting ahead in the count, and then they're 0-2 or, they're starting it off, on a kind of a good foot and the pitches are in the box. Things go bad when you get into those 3-0 counts and they're nowhere even near the strike zone, and then bad things happen. So far, Brash looks good. 0-1 pitch, slow dribbler, and Brash throw, Naylor! And a nice move by Brash and Naylor, have to use their athleticism, and they get the out. 2 away. Great job by Brash, kind of in an awkward play, and a great job by Naylor, moving his body in a particular way to make sure to get those outs. And again, you have to be very flexible, and you have to make sure you keep that foot on the bag. Great job by both. 2 away. And again, we know how often that we see a pitcher make a wild throw, or maybe the first baseman bobble, or take their foot off and have to stretch too far, but Naylor is great at everything he does defensively. Next up is George Springer. Let's go, baby. Brash on the mound. Springer in the box. And they got Brian Wu warming up in the pen. We might see Brian Wu, baby. There's a Wu sighting. Woo, woo, woo. Let's go. Let's go. First pitch, high and away. 1-0 count. That's exciting that Wu is warming up. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to George Springer. Don't lose your focus here, Matt. Understand what George is about. Check swing. They say he does not go around. And George will chase from time to time, but he is a pretty disciplined hitter most of the time, especially in 2025 compared to last year. Changed a lot of his mechanics and his pregame routine, and definitely had a breakout year this year. 2-0 pitch, and crushes it high into left field, off the wall. And that ends up being an RBI, 1-1, Blue Jays and Mariners. Makes you kind of wonder if Bryce stayed in the game. Does that happen or not? Hard to say. And getting into 2-0 count was not ideal, and Springer crushed that. But it could have been worse. It could have been a home run, so think about it that way. Next up is Nathan Lucas. Let's move past the double and the RBI. Now it's 1-1, and now we have to move forward. First pitch, low and at the knees. 1-0 count. Come on, Brash. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nathan Lucas. And you knew the Blue Jays were going to score at some point, but if we can have them score at 1 at a time instead of 2, 3, 4 at a time, we'll be fine. The bats will come alive for the Mariners in these last 3, 4 innings. I mean, even if that means that we win 2-1 or 3-1 or 3-2 or 4-3, we can find a way. One pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with the slider, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. 1 more strike, get the punch out, or the easy pop-up or ground out will be good to go. Top of the 5th inning, 1-1, Blue Jays and Mariners. One-two pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nathan Lucas. Come on, Matt. Lucas in the box. Brash on the mound. 2-2 pitch, high and away with the changeup, starting to lose a little bit of his momentum here. Come on, Matt. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nathan Lucas. We cannot afford a mini meltdown. We could have kept Bryce in the game. Hit the fucking spots. Come on, Matt. I mean, it's one thing when you're missing it by a few inches, but it's also another thing when you're missing it by like a foot. Like those last 2 pitches were terrible. Pitch 4 and pitch 5. And that ends up being a walk. Come on, Matt. And now you got runners at first and second for Vladdy. What do you do new here? Do you walk him? I don't know if I trust Vladdy in the box here. 1 swing, it could be 4-1 Blue Jays. Do you intentionally walk him again? Do you trust Brash enough to get this out? I'm not sure if I do. And they're going to pitch to him. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and obviously not throwing anything down the middle to Vladdy. Come on, Matt. Top of the 5th inning, 1-1, Blue Jays and Mariners. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Brash on the mound, Vladdy in the box. 7 for 10 in games 3 through 5. 0 for 7 in game 1 and game 2. That's the difference. 0-2 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 2-1 pitch. Low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 2 outs in a 1-1 tie here in the top of the 5th. Come on, Brash. I mean, if we had been walking him, it would have been the same thing as an intentional walk, but we'll see. 3-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This is not just a series right here. Give me a break. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second and 2 outs. Brash on the mound. Vladdy in the box. And there we go. Big strikeout there by Brash. Big swing and a miss. And there we go. We get ourselves in a jam in 2 innings, but we find a way with Brash and Bryce to get the job done. Great job. Let's go. Yeah, we ended up, giving up a run, which isn't ideal. Great job from George Springer. He's a hell of a player, but again, only one. That's definitely something that we can deal with as Mariner fans. Let's go. And now it's time to be able to take the lead here in the bottom of the fifth. Gain 4 more subs, 15 to go to 23,100. Let's go. Can we get an update on the likes on where we're at? We got 401. See who's up next here at the bottom of the fifth for the Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners, 0 for 1 in the 8-hole, right fielder Dominic Canzone. Will we see Victor Robles get substituted in at some point? We will see. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, second baseman Leo Rivas. Drop a bunt? I wouldn't be mad. And batting third, 0 for 2, center fielder leading off for the first time in a minute, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Let's go, Julio. $184, 16 more to get to 2 all day. Let's get it. And then we'll be doing number 8 Oregon versus Rutgers at 3:30 Pacific on the Big Ten Network tomorrow. And Brewers-Dodgers start in about an hour. Shohei Ohtani on the mound trying to sweep the Brewers. Let's go, Dom. If you're playing over Victor Robles, you have to make sure that you're helping us win in the box and defensively. And I think Victor is a better defender in right field. And both guys have struggled in the box. Now, if this was Dom, a few weeks back or a few months back, we would probably say Dom. But, lately it's kind of a, hit or miss, for both guys. Some guys, are going to come up and, get the job done often. And then they hit a wall. And obviously Robles and Dom have been a little inconsistent. But, we'll see if Dom can come up with some magic. And if there is a guy that is due for a Dom bomb, you're looking at him right here. Let's go, Dom. See if we can get someone to open this game up a little bit. Take it easy, Mike. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Get us to 300 likes, 100 on the dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off by Dominic Canzone. No balls and 2 strikes from Gossman to Dom. Come on, Canzone. And that slow dribbler towards that first base line by Dominic Canzone. Bottom of the fifth, 1-1 Blue Jays and Mariners. This is definitely a game that, we could end up winning 3-1, 3-2, 4-3, something of that nature. It may end up being low scoring. Hell, it might end up being 2-1, but again, I think that, we just have to have the faith. 0-2 pitch, hot way, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. And you got to think Gossman, will be out in an inning or two. He's at 66 pitches now. So we'll see when they make the substitution for him as well. And we have to assume that the Blue Jay bullpen will have at least one guy with a mini meltdown. Hopefully 2. And Canzone fouls out to third, and that is 1 away. I think at this point, next at bat, I would be subbing in Victor Robles in right field for the rest of the game. We already gave him a couple chances. I need better defense in right field, and Victor a little bit better of a base runner than Dom as well. But we'll see if they do that or not. Next up is Leo Rivas. First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Let's go, Leo. Dave with a 20. Appreciate you so much. $20 holla on the Dono train. Thank you so much for your support, Dave. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to Leo Rivas. Rivas is a guy that could open up the game with a single, double, ground rule double, and a home run as well. Let's see if he can end up getting on base, even with a walk. Anything will help. And they got Brian Wu warming up in the pen, which is a great sign to see. Two-0 pitch, low and at the knees. Good eye by Leo Rivas. 3 balls and no strikes to Leo. Take the walk. Don't get greedy here. Leo is a pretty patient player in the box as well. 10 years in the farm with 3 different teams, and he should have been on the team over Dylan Moore earlier in the year. And 3-0 pitch turns into 4 straight balls. Nice job, Leo. Great job, Rivas. And we're starting to have a little mini meltdown by Gossman. You know, it's not just the Mariners that might have mini meltdowns with Brash and Miller. You're starting to get a mini one here out of maybe Kevin, possibly. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. This is where you end up being your best. Cal on deck, Polo up next. Let's go. We could score this inning. It could be 2-1, 3-1, 4-1 by the time the 5th is over. Let's go. Let's go, Julio. Time to take the lead. Blue Jays got Little warming up in the pen as well. Come on, J-Rod. You've been absolutely fantastic in the second half of the season. You got 3 home runs in the postseason. Come on now. And Julio on the first pitch. Lines out. You got to work the count. Now, Marine Bean loves it when you swing at the first pitch, but I sure as hell don't, because that's what typically happens. Kind of a wasted at-bat for 2 out of the 3 at-bats for Julio. You're not helping the team by swinging at that. If you're looking for that same type of pitch, you're going to get it on pitch 4 or pitch 5. You're helping the pitcher out by bailing him out in a situation like that after he just threw 4 straight balls. Like, Julio doesn't have the best, baseball IQ or awareness. If a guy threw 4 straight balls, why would you swing at the first pitch? Wouldn't you wait and see if he actually could throw a strike or not? Hello? Next up is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, And again, baseball IQ is something that is learned, but you have to be able to pay attention, not just think about yourself. You have to think about what's going around you, in the baseball atmosphere. A guy throws 4 straight balls. You swing at the first pitch? Fuck are you doing? First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. At least Cal got the memo. 1-0 count. I mean, Randy would have done the same shit, though. So, obviously, leadoff hitters haven't been the same for us since pretty much Ichiro. Obviously, we've had D. Gordon and, a few others like JP that are more traditional leadoff hitters. But anytime you end up putting a power hitter at leadoff, we'll see. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. One pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. There we go. All day since we got to 2. Let's get to 3, baby. Great job by All Day and the others in the room. Bottom of the 5th, 1-1, Blue Jays and Mariners. Runner at first with 2 outs. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, And again, just because you want to be able to be the hero and try to get a home run on that first pitch, if you can get the pitch count up, that's going to help the rest of the team out, by maybe going with the bullpen and a guy being shaky, by swinging at the first pitch after 4 straight balls. The only thing that's going to benefit is the pitcher, not the batter. I mean, unless you're able to capitalize off a home run, but how often is that going to happen? Especially if the guy threw 4 straight balls prior. Probably not going to be right down the middle. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the splitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And it makes you wonder, if Julio would have been patient, would he have been walked as well if he just would have taken the time? Hard to say. It's definitely a possibility. Never bail out the pitcher after 4 straight balls. Come on. Have some baseball IQ, Julio. Two-two pitch, and Cal flies out to left, and that is out number 3. We have to be able to work together as a team to try to be able to get back-to-back hits or, something of that nature, And again, you have to have the formula. You have to be aware. It's not about just an individual by themselves. It's a team sport. Let's go to the top of the 6th inning. We're still knotted up at 1. Next up for the Blue Jays, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Alejandro Kirk. Brian Wu coming in for Brash. Let's go. Batting second, center fielder Dalton Varsho. And batting third, second baseman Ernie Clement. Out is Brash. And incoming will be Brian Wu. Let's go. Hopefully it's the good Wu as well. Welcome back to the team, and hopefully this will be a nice outing. Could you imagine if Brian is locked in and we can actually use him for like 2 innings? That could be the difference between winning the game or not. If he can actually go like 2 innings, I don't know if they would push him that much. Obviously having him come in for the first time after the pec being a little sore and whatnot. Obviously, it sounds like it wasn't torn, but it was obviously hurt a lot more than they let on initially, right? Because we thought that he would easily be back, a lot sooner. But if he can get 1 inning, unscathed would be great. But just imagine if he could go 2, that could really put us in a great position, depending on if the bats come alive or not. Even if we have to grind out this win and win 2-1, I don't think any Mariner fan is going to complain. Now, obviously, getting to 5 runs is the goal, and we'll see if we have that big inning. But at this point, with the game on the line in the 6th inning with only a few innings left, if we find a way to win 2-1, I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. Let's go. Brian Wu on the mound. Let's go. Gain another sub. 14 subs to go to 21,100. Let's go. And first pitch from Wu, and gives up a big hit. Dominic Canzone still out there, and Alejandro Kirk hustling, and a double. Not ideal for Brian Wu to give up a double on the first pitch. And there it is. Settle down, Wu. We can't have you be a liability out there. Next up is Dalton Varsho. And if we had Victor Robles playing defense out there, maybe that's caught. I think we definitely need to substitute Victor. We don't want to have 2 liabilities in left field and right field, with Randy with ground balls and then with ground balls and pop-ups into right field for Dom. Get Victor Robles in the fucking game, offensively and defensively. First pitch, big swing and a miss. And that's a good sign. A first swing and a miss for Brian Wu. There we go. Nice job, Brian. Oh, 1 pitch, bunted foul. No balls and 2 strikes to Dalton Varsho. Top of the 6th, 1-1, Blue Jays and Mariners. And that's one thing I appreciate about the Blue Jays and the Tigers, based on their managers and the way that they manage the game. They'll ask guys to bunt when they normally don't. And most of the time, they're very good at it, and I wish the Mariners would take notice. That bunting helps you win. 0-2 pitch. That one's fouled off. 0-2 pitch, high and away. On the line there, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dalton Varsho. Yeah, I'm not really sure why Victor didn't play yesterday or today. I mean, I think at this point, Dom has cooled off from his hot streak. I think Victor is a better defender, and I trust him more in the box, and he can get you more stolen bags and runs the bases better. So, having Dom over Victor doesn't make any sense to me. At least not at this point. Now, when Dom was hot, yeah, I get it, but he's cooled off now. Pitch is high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Varsho. Yeah, but it's different for other players rather than our players in the box. You can have that old school mentality all you want, but the game is changing. Just because guys can hit pitches on us on the first pitch, it really depends on where they're going. If Wu's going to try to go right down the middle on his first pitch, then they made him pay. That's not my problem. You got to be better. Three-two pitch. Popped up. And Varsho flies out to left. And Randy is there. And that is 1 away. What we do in the box is going to be different what others do against us. Other teams can swing at the first pitch and end up getting home runs. But again, with guys on our team, it's not the same type of thing. Results are typically different. Next up, in the 6 hole, 0 for 2, Ernie Clement. First pitch fouled off low and at the knees, 0-1 count. Little slow dribbler towards third base, foul. Top of the 6th, 1-1, Blue Jays and Mariners. Runner at second with 1 out. Wu on the mound. Ernie Clement in the box. Check swing, pitch is high and inside. Ump says he does not go around. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ernie Clement. Top of the 6th, 1-1 tie with a runner at second with 1 out. Woohoo with a 5er. Appreciate you. And another base hit by Wu given up. And Kirk is going home. Terrible throw. And if Canzone is not playing, and that's Victor Robles, we probably tag him out. And that's the problem of playing Dom over Victor Robles. Not good. 2-1 Blue Jays. I mean, especially when you get a guy that's thick like Josh Naylor or the big dumper, running the bases like that. You got to make sure the throw is on point. And again, Dom can't get you a hit, and he can't play defense either. Dumb decision by not having Victor play 2 games in a row. Next up is Addison Barger. Fouls it off. 0-1 count. And obviously by, seeing Wu, he ain't ready. We decided to bring him in, but he ain't ready. He ain't locked in. He ain't the same Wu prior to the injury. And the Blue Jay hitters are great, but definitely not ready to start a game anytime soon. In play, little slow dribbler. And that is 2 away. Next up is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 1 for 2. Top of the 6th with a runner at third with 2 outs, 2-1 Blue Jays. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. But again, you have to test the waters with Woo at some point. You know, in the bullpen first was smart rather than just making him the starter potentially for like this game or, you know, game 6 or game 7. He clearly is not ready. You know, you could, you know, throw him out in the pen again, you know, maybe like in game 7, you know, but I wouldn't want him playing in game 6. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kiner-Falefa. It's a lot of pressure for a guy that's been hurt, you know, and coming out there in that type of environment with the pressure, you know. And again, the pressure is something that's not calculated for, and especially when you get further and further in territory that we're not really familiar with. Pitches inside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Kiner-Falefa. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Woo. Low and away, getting Kiner-Falefa to bite on that sweeper. That sweeped outside the strike zone. Beautiful. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kiner-Falefa. That's the best pitch I've seen so far out of Woo. And hopefully we can get this last out here and keep the, you know, game in range. You know, we want to keep it close. We're only down by 1, but the Blue Jays have taken the momentum. And we need other bats to step up other than just Gino. That's why it's so important to work the count and not swing at the fucking first pitch. You know, you're bailing out the pitchers. And now we're in a little bit of a jam. Work the fucking count. And a slow dribbler to Woo. And there we go. Nice underhand throw to Naylor. And there it is. There's always a time and a place, you know, to be able to be aggressive, you know, on the first pitch. Today is not one of those days, period. But if we end up getting Gausman out and you want to go for a first pitch swing against one of the shitty guys in the pen, then that might be the right time to do it, you know, but not against a starter in these first 6 innings. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th and let's tie this game up or take the lead. Next up, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, DHing Jorge Polanco. And again, I like Leo, you know, at second base, but we play better when Polo plays at second. You know, if that means that Rivas, you know, ends up being the DH instead and flipping those, you know, Rivas has made some defensive plays, but Polo plays better when he's out there at second. You know, when he DHs, just DHing, you know, usually doesn't do as good. And hopefully we can get some magic out of Polo here. Batting second, 1 for 2, first baseman Josh Naylor. And batting third, 0 for 2, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And hopefully when we get back to Dominic Canzone, we get Victor Robles for at least 2 at-bats and better defense in right field. Because I guarantee if Victor was in, that throw would have been more on point and we would have had a chance to tag a slow Alejandro Kirk. You know, we would have been able to more than likely get that out, but not with a wild throw from Dom. I mean, you got to pay attention to every single little detail. Every little minor, you know, little detail could be the difference between winning the game or losing the game. Winning the series, the battle in Seattle, or losing the series. You have to make sure you're making proper adjustments. You know, just like a head coach in the NFL or an offense or defensive coordinator. You can't just keep doing the same shit over and over and over and thinking that you're going to get a different result. You got to be able to mix things up. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Blue Jays. Time to tie it up or take the lead. Let's go. Let's go, Polo. We need you. First pitch from Gausman to Polo, and once Gausman is out, we should start to be able to, have hopefully a couple mini meltdowns and start raking, unless we can get Gossman to have a mini meltdown himself. Woohoo with a tour. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. You've been great in game 1 and game 2. Game 3 and game 4 have been a little bit of a struggle, and we need you to step up here in game 5. Even if that means that you're not out there playing defense and you feel like you're maybe not in the game fully, you got to be able to dig deep. You've been the most consistent game-breaking hitter in the playoffs up to this point. We need you. Come on, Polo. Bottom of the 6th. 2-1 Blue Jays. 1-1 pitch, high and away. Good eye by Polo. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. Two-one pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. Give us that juice. Give us that energy. We could really use a big play right here. Come on, Polo. One hit in Seattle is not going to get it done after being so dominant on the road. And again, we are going back to Toronto, in game 6 or game 7, and we know that Polo will, be productive there. But can we get a little bit of that juice and a little bit of that magic here at home? We need more. You can't just be great on the road and then nothing at home. We need you. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Good eye by Polo. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. .53 to hit the goal all day, says. Let's get it, baby. And where are we at on the likes all day? And 3-2 pitch, grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Shows you how important it is for Polo to be out there playing defense. If he's just DHing, he ain't worth a damn. You need to have him playing in the game for whatever reason. He plays better when he's at second. And then if you want to have Leo play, you can put him, in a DH spot or something else. Next up is Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. We need you, baby. First pitch to Naylor, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. Let's go, Nails. You've been able to make some great defensive plays. Can you end up coming up big with a home run at some point in this game, just like Gino did? Come on now. Bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Blue Jays. Gossman on the mound, Naylor in the box. Let's tie this game up or take the lead. Let's go. We can do it. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Patience in the box. I know there's a lot of nerves out there. All day says we're at 208, 42 more to 250, 92 to get to 3. Let's go. And that'll be the goal for the stream since we have 433 in the room to get to 3. We should be able to do that. And Naylor with a hit right up the middle, but a little short hop throw to first. And that is 2 away. Need to get that past the infield. Next up, 0 for 2, Randy Arosarena. Come on, Randy. This would be a good time for you to go yard with a solo dinger. Get the game tied up 2-2. Give us a little bit of juice, a little bit of life. And if you can't get the homer, get on base. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. I'll take him getting beaned as long as he doesn't get hurt. I'll take a walk. I'll take a single, anything. Woohoo with another tour. Let's go. Pitch is high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Randy Arosarena. Take the walk, Randy. There's no point I'm striking out on a 2-0 count. And now it's a 3-0 count. Pitch is low and away with the slider. Don't help the pitchers out. And that's, the difference between baseball IQ, if you have it or you don't. Yeah, you got the green light on a 3-0, but if he's thrown 3 balls, what are the chances that he's going to hit it right down the middle? Sometimes it happens, and then that pitch number 5 ends up being the ball that ends up walking the batter. But other times it's 4 straight balls. You got to be able to understand what you're getting. And there we go. 4 straight balls and Randy with a walk. Good job, Randy. Reflect with a 3-er. And we know Randy can steal a bag, right? We can get him into a runner in scoring position. One for 2 with a run in a ribby. We definitely need another big hit here by Eugenio Suarez. And again, he's already homered once. Can he homer again? Again, it's not impossible, but he can still be a factor. And again, normally when Gino ends up being a factor, he hits that home run and it's a no-doubter. He knows it. Everyone knows it in the crowd. But again, as Gossman leaves, right, and if he can get a good pitch, obviously from whoever comes in and they have a mini meltdown, even a line drive towards third base that goes all the way to the left field wall, that could score, Randy from first, or at least get him to third at the very least. We just need to be able to keep the inning going. But the best part about it is that we don't have to see Kevin anymore. So he's done. And again, let's see what his final line is. 5.2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 4 Ks, 91 pitches, 53 strikes. And now they're going to bring in Louis Varland, and he's had some meltdowns. So we can definitely, if we work the count, we can hopefully potentially get a run or 2 here. We're great with 2 outs. Remember that. Where other teams struggle with 2 outs, the Mariners thrive. All right, Louis Varland coming in. And Gino in the box. Come on, Gino. We need you. Or maybe we can get a scenario where Randy steals second, Randy steals third, Gino gets a single, and then it ends up being 2-2. We've seen that scenario happen before in the past as well. But again, it's all about timing. And again, we have to make sure that those guys are not sleeping, on the base paths. And obviously they know how aggressive we want to be, but again, it's all about timing. And hopefully, we can end up getting Randy to second, and then Gino can make the big play unless Gino has the Gino game and ends up homering again, and then giving us a 3-2 lead. That would be best case scenario. Kev in the building. What's good? And hopefully other individuals like Leo will be able to step up as well. And they're going to go with Varland. Okay. First pitch. High and inside to Eugenio Suarez. 1-0 count. Here we go. Meltdown. Don't swing. Don't swing. 1-0 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Varland to Gino. And Varland, has a tendency of having, some meltdown. So this could be huge here. You got to make sure you understand that we have 2 outs. You can't swing like we have 0 outs or 1 out. 2 for 29 is unacceptable with men on base. 2-0 pitch turns into a 3-0 count. Here we go. We'll take a walk. Let's go, Gino. Meltdown, meltdown, meltdown. 3-0 pitch takes a strike looking right down the middle in the corner. 3 balls and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez, but typically pitch 5 will be the pitch that will be a ball. If Gino is just patient, more times than not, about 90%, this will be ball 4. Let's see if it ends up happening. Come on, Gino, let's take a walk. And there it is, pitch 5 with the walk. Your boy, ESP on point. All right, now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs. Next up, Ice water in his veins, 0 for 1 with a walk. J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. With one swing, the game could be 4-2. But we'll take an RBI or even just a single. Keep the rally going. Come on, JP. And we know you can do it defensively, but we need that JP in the box that we know that we can get. First pitch, takes a strike, looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Blue Jays. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Come on, JP. Be smart here, JP. We need you. Bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Blue Jays. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. I mean, hell, if we just don't swing, we might just be able to load the bases up and bring guys home. But do the players actually have the patience to just not swing, for the next few batters? Probably not, but again, he hasn't really been able to hit the zone here. I mean, he's throwing like 1 strike out of every 5 pitches. And it's all about the awareness that the other players have. Because I don't think he can throw 3 strikes in a row, let alone 3 strikes in an at-bat. But do the players know that in the box? Bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Blue Jays. Runners at first and second. And a chopper. Fuck. Throw to first, and that is it. Damn it. I would have just wanted to keep waiting it out, but, again, hitters want to hit. End of the 6th inning, 2-1 Blue Jays. And again, if we would have let Louis keep pitching instead of swinging, good things could have possibly happened, but we're going to have to wait to the 7th, 8th, or 9th to be able to tie it up or take the lead. Believe, have faith. Next up for the Blue Jays, 0 for 2 in the top of the 7th, shortstop Andres Jimenez. Batting second, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a K, DHing George Springer. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a base on ball, left fielder Nathan Lucas. Trident's up, let's go M's. I mean, they might be letting Wu pitch again. We'll see. Looks like Wu is still in. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 300 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we need 15 subs to hit 23,100. Let's go. Wu on the mound. Andres Jimenez in the box. Come on, Wu. Top of the 7th inning, 2-1 Blue Jays. We can still win this game 3-2. You just have to have faith, believe. First pitch from Wu to Jimenez, fouls it off, low and away, 0-1 count. Let's go, Woo. Great to see you out there, but we need you to be good. You know, we can't just be happy with him being out there. And Jimenez grounds out to second, throw to first, and that is one away. Good job, Woo. Let's go, baby. Next up is George Springer, 1 for 3 with an RBI double in the fifth. First pitch, low and at the hips with the sinker, 94 miles an hour by Woo, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to George Springer. And again, the umping was terrible within the first 3 innings, but then the last 3 innings or so have been much better. So again, it seems like they have kind of cleaned up some of those, issues that we were having with, inside and outside. But again, we still got a few innings to go to see how it'll all play out. And hopefully the umping is good, for both teams right down the middle. But we will see. 1 ball and 1 strike from Woo to Springer. Top of the 7th, 2-1 Blue Jay lead. And Springer gets hit on the knee. Hopefully he's okay. Obviously, Woo is not a dirty player, and we're not going to try to hurt anyone intentionally, but Springer is down like he was in a battle in some kind of war, wiggling on the ground. Hopefully he's okay. And it gets him right on the knee. No, nothing intentional about that. That just, went inside and just went a little bit too much inside. A couple inches too close. Hope he's okay. Again, we don't wish injuries on anybody. Chris in the building. What's good? $224. We need to get to 300. Let's go. 449 in the room. But I can't do it by myself. Top of the 7th, 2-1 Toronto with a runner at first and 1 out. And Springer is still on the ground with the trainers after getting hit on the knee. And again, that's a key component, of what makes this offense go, as well as his defense. And again, regardless on how you feel about Toronto or Springer, being a former Astro, never, ever, enjoy injuries. It's just not good karma. Yeah, I don't know if Springer can even run out there. I mean, if he's having a hard time just taking a couple steps, how the hell is he going to run? Now, if he stays in, that's a better chance for us to get a double play, right? But I'm not sure if the Toronto staff is dumb enough to let him go out there. I think you have to have a pinch runner at this point. But if they decide to keep him in there, and he wants to tough it out, I will gladly take a double play based off his ignorance, being hurt and wiggling on the ground like he's been in a war. And then if he thinks that he can, be okay, but we will see. I mean, I applaud his toughness, and whatnot, but sometimes you got to understand that the game is bigger than just one individual. Yeah, he's going back to the dugout. There's no way. And it makes you kind of wonder if this will be a turning point in the series. For example, if we drop this game, if that were to happen, and Springer is out in Game 6 and Game 7, that could be a huge advantage for us if we end up with our backs against the wall, having to win 2 games in Toronto. But again, we won the first 2 games in Toronto. So I think any scenario, us winning today, losing in game 6, winning in game 7, us losing today, winning in game 6 and game 7, or winning today and winning in game 6. There's 3 different scenarios, and I think we can win in any of those. But first off, I hope George is okay. First pitch from Wu to Nathan Lucas, low and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nathan Lucas. Top of the 7th inning, 2-1 Toronto with a runner at first and 1 out. Can we get a slow dribbler up the middle to JP and a throw to Naylor? Double play. We get out of this inning and keep the game 2-1. And grounds out to third, Loperfido to second, and that is 2 away. Nice throw by Gino with the laser there to Naylor. 2 away. And obviously they're going to automatically walk Vladdy. So they had that obviously, dialed in. And next up is Alejandro Kirk. But anytime you end up having a guy at first and then you intentionally walk a guy, you can't, walk the next guy, because then you end up having bases loaded and then you get yourself in a jam like we had earlier in this game. So, you have to make sure that you get this guy out. We don't want it to get to bases loaded, because that's when things get really scary. Got to get Kirk out here. Top of the 7th. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 2-1 Blue Jays. First pitch fouled off by Kirk. 0-1 count. But by not having Vladdy hit the last, 2 attempts, maybe saved us a run or 2 or 3. So, especially on how hot Vladdy has been in the last, 2 games. 0 for 7 in the first 2 in Toronto, and then, hitting everything in game 3, game 4, and obviously starting it off with that double in game 5, and then we intentionally walked him twice, which I think is the smart move. And we don't really say smart and move and Dan Wilson in the same sentence that often, but that was a good one. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 2-1 Blue Jay lead. We can still win this 3-2, absolutely. Someone's got to step up, though. Slow dribbler up the middle. Throw to first. And great job by Naylor adjusting his body again off a wild throw. And there we go. And again, we get Wu to get some practice. And not only that, to pitch pretty well. And again, if Springer is injured, and it's not like Wu's a dirty player, but if Springer is injured, that could be the difference between us advancing and not advancing in Toronto. Even if we drop today's game, and again, you don't wish injuries on anyone, but someone as significant as Springer, that is a big deal. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 7th for the Seattle Mariners. Let's tie the game up or take the lead. What do you say? Leading off for the Mariners, 0 for 2, Dominic Canzone. And I think at this point, you bring in Victor Robles. Like, you already given him 2 chances. Your defense is not very good in right field. Bring in Victor for the rest of the game. Make the move, Dan. Don't be stupid. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball today, second baseman Leo Rivas. And batting third, 0 for 3, Julio Rodriguez. Now, is it possible that if Dom stays in, he hits a home run here? Of course, Dom is due. He has been very bad, for quite some time, a couple hits out of like 20 plus at bats, but again, what are the chances that Dom ends up connecting with a home run? Like, what's the percentage? Less than 5%? So there's a chance that he can do it. And then maybe a 10% chance on getting a hit, and getting like a single, like he might be able to get one, but I'm thinking more defense. And I think we need a better right fielder. We already have a liability in left with ground balls and Randy. Julio's fantastic in center with ground balls or in pop-ups. But I think, you gave him 2 chances. He had a shitty throw that if it was on point, maybe we end up tagging that runner at home since he was obviously a big boy. Alejandro Kirk scoring from second, he's slow. And again, if that throw was on point by Dom, the tag would have been there, but it was off. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, I like Dom, don't get me wrong. But again, we've been praying and hoping that we had Victor, at this point, and we need to use him. And he didn't even play fucking yesterday. Get him in the fucking lineup. I mean, Fanatics shouldn't be able to outmanage Dan Wilson, but I guess sometimes we can, huh? All right, Canzone is still in there. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. And again, if you can't get a hit, at least take the walk. And let's hope that we can get maybe a walk from Louis. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike, looking low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Blue Jay lead with nobody on and no outs. Let's go, Dom. And that pitch is just foul. Wow. That would have been crazy if Dom would have been able to hit a home run there. Can we see a replay to see how close that really was? How close was that? Golly, inches. Wow. I don't know. I mean, we've seen a lot of home runs go foul. That might be the closest that we've seen one all year. I mean, inches away. I mean, they're challenging this, but I mean, it looks like it's a couple inches foul, right? I don't know if there's a scenario where you can give them a home run there. I mean, unless they have some kind of other angle of that. Foul ball. That's the best hit ball Dom has hit in ages. God, why did that foul pole have to be right there? Just a couple inches over. So what happens if it ends up hitting the foul pole? Like it hits it right down the middle. And I guess it depends on where it lands. 2-2 pitch from Louis Varland to Dominic Canzone. And big swing and a miss, and down goes Dom. Should have put in Victor Robles. Next up, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K, Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. And shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Some people may not recognize that, but they're not people that are a part of this channel. So 1-0 pitch, takes a strike, looking low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. I will always support my friends that have dreams and goals. Not very many people have dreams and goals. And again, if it was easy, everyone would do it. And I will always support my friends. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. One pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking outside of the zone. Not this again. Should be 3-1 count, but instead it's 2-2, of course. And it's always in the middle of the count where it really matters the most, where these umps are making these terrible calls. Strikes, balls, balls, strikes, and it ends up turning into outs for us instead of base hits or walks. Come on, Leo. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Kevin in the building, what's good? Watching from the UK. Pitches low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Louis Varland to Leo Rivas. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Blue Jay lead with nobody on and 1 out. Three-two pitch, fouled off, low and away. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Yeah, I'm not really sure why, Victor hasn't played yesterday or today. I mean, obviously Dom in right field is not ideal. He hasn't been hot as a hitter, and he's a liability in right field. Maybe not as bad as Randy with ground balls, but I don't really feel comfortable with Dom in right field if we have Victor available. In play, and that has popped up. Varsho lets him have it, and that is 2 away. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Swinging at the first pitch twice. What did that do for us? Absolutely nothing. 0 for 3 so far, and that has to change. Let's go, Julio. Now, is it possible that he swings at a first pitch off a guy in the pen and hits a home run? Yeah, but realistically, let's work the count. First pitch, big swing and a miss. On the knuckle curve, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Julio has not got the memo. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. We need you to be the hero, but we also need you to be patient and have some baseball IQ. I guess it went out the window. Knuckle curve and knuckle curve. Julio, wake up, my guy. You're one of the best players in the game. We can't afford you to go 0 for 4 in a very important game late in the ALCS. Come on. And obviously when you do this, there's no chance for a fucking walk. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. And Julio has been absolutely phenomenal, after the All-Star break. But again, you got to lock in. 1-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Knuckle curve again. 4 straight pitches with the knuckle curve, but does Julio recognize that? 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. One-two pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Julio. And that is the end of the 7th inning. Let's go to the top of the 8th inning and see who's up next here for the Blue Jays. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K, center fielder Dalton Varsho. Batting second in the 6th hole, second baseman Ernie Clement. And batting third, right fielder Addison Barger. And Gabe Spire is entering the matchup for Brian Wu. And we need the good Gabe Spire, not the bad. Gabe hasn't really been that trustworthy lately. And let's pray that, he can get the job done and keep this game within one run. So that way we have a chance to tie it in the bottom of the 8th or the bottom of the 9th. And then we can find a way to win this 3-2 in regulation or in extra innings. I had to check the injury report to see if Victor Robles is on there, and he's not. So, why are we not having Victor not play? They haven't really been using him the way that we need to use him. I mean, we didn't have him all year, But we still got a chance, but someone's got to step up. He's not ready to start a game for Wu. Again, can we use Wu in the bullpen in game 6 or game 7? I think we can comfortably say yes, but we also have to take in consideration that he may not go 3 up and 3 down. He may give up a run, just like everyone else that we bring in from the pen. But I wouldn't say it was great, but I wouldn't say it was bad either. I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, a 7, but he definitely isn't ready to start a game. Not in my eyes. First pitch from Spire to Varsho, low and away, 1-0 count. Let's go, baby. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Gabe doing Gabe things, no control. 2 balls and no strikes from Spire to Varsho. Yeah. And again, where is Bizzardo? It's like these questionable decisions, pulling pitchers too soon, maybe bringing in the wrong guy in the pen, and obviously the bats, haven't come alive. We need the bats to come alive. And again, it can't just be one guy out of 9, And again, some of these guys have had self-inflicted wounds like Julio today. If Julio would have just been patient in the box, maybe we're tied right now, or maybe we have the lead, But again, being overly aggressive, not ideal. And we know he's been a fantastic player, but we need you in the critical moments. 3-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Low and away, count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dalton Varsho. Yeah, Robles not playing in back-to-back games. I don't really mind Julio leading off over Randy, but it probably would have made more sense to have JP there, or maybe even Leo Rivas there. And Varsho pops up to the shortstop, and that is 1 away. And again, I do like Polo playing in the games rather than him DHing. Obviously, for whatever reason, Polo doesn't play very well when he just DHs. And 1 hit in 3 games ain't going to fucking cut it for being Mr. October on the road and being so good up to that point, You knew at some point Polo was going to hit a wall, but I didn't think it was going to be game 3, game 4, game 5 after being Mr. October, the good chunk of the way. In play, and Clement flies out to left, and thank God that's not a ground ball to Randy. Otherwise, that would have been a double or a triple. Great job by Randy. Great catch. Nice leaping grab there by Randy. And down goes Ernie Clement. And Miles Straw coming in for Addison Barger. Gabe got incredibly lucky there. First pitch from Spire to Miles Straw. Takes a strike looking with the sinker high and inside. 0-1 count. Got to find a way to tie this game up 2-2 in the 8th or the 9th, and then win the game 3-2 in the 9th or in extra innings in the 10th, 11th, or 12th by any means necessary. 0-1 pitch popped up and another deep hit there, but Julio is there, and that is out number 3. A little scary, for Gabe, not looking very good and almost giving up a home run, but he got the job done with the defense behind him. And let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Let's get it done, baby. Let's go. Five subs gained since the last commercial break. We only need 9 to get to 23,100. There's 9 people in the room that haven't subbed yet at a 426. Let's get to that number here tonight. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 300 likes, 100 on that dono train. And we only need 9 subs to be able to get to 23,100. Let's go. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with a K, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And if there was a time that we needed Cal to do Cal type of things, it's right now. Let's go, big dumper. Let's go, Cal. Make the magic happen. Let's go, big dumper. Batting second, DHing, Jorge Polanco. You've had 1 hit in 3 games. We need you, Polo. Wake up. And batting third, first baseman Josh Naylor. Already had some great defensive plays early. Could we get a special swing out of Naylor to tie this game up? Let's go, Josh. David with the sub, appreciate you. Bottom of the 8th inning, 2-1 Blue Jays. Let's go. We can do this. Let's go. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Bottom of the 8th, 2-1 Blue Jays. Big dumper in the box. 3 hits will not cut it. We have to get some production here. Brendan Little into the game. Big dumper in the box. First pitch, high and away. 0-1 count. No. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Little to big dumper. And Brendan Little, back-to-back sinkers, 92 miles an hour. Let's go, Cal. And Cal is batting from the right-hand side. That might be the spark that he needs, instead of hitting from that left side so often. Come on, Cal. Cal crushes it. Is it deep enough? And it is. Go! Let's go. Boom! Let's go. Boom! 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 Let's go! Let's go! That spark from hitting from the right-hand side is exactly what Cal needed. He's been batting from the left forever and ever and ever. Cal Raleigh, trident's up. You ask for a home run, you get a home run. 2-2. We're tied up, baby. Let's go. Heck yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Tied up at 2 with no outs. Let's go. Hell yeah. You ask for the home run, you get the fucking home run. Way to be clutch. And that's how you end up being clutch, baby. You know, you end up finding that one thing to kind of mix it up a little bit. You know, we haven't seen Cal bat from the right-hand side, it feels like, in ages. And then you get that perfect pitcher to come in. And luckily, Cal was up to bat, and he said, see ya. Let's go. Let's go. Huge. Fuck yeah. Let's go. First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Now you know Little is rattled, so don't get too crazy. You know, make sure you're working the count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. Good eye by Polo. Obviously, he's rattled. And obviously, once you give up a home run and the game is tied up at 2, we can continue to have a meltdown. 2-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Little to Polo. And again, you know, a lot of times we struggle with left-handed pitching with a, you know, strong righty lineup. But again, Cal hasn't, you know, hit from the right side in a long time. And that definitely is exactly the spark that we needed. And maybe that's the spark Polo needs also. You know, he's been batting from the left side. Maybe the right side can get a single here, or a double, or maybe even a home run. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Let's go. Let's go. Bottom of the 8th. God, we have just a knack for the dramatics. I mean, if it's not dramatic, it's not Mariner baseball, you know. And again, it definitely, you know, makes us want to pull our hair out. You know, it makes us, you know, have some, you know, mental health issues from time to time. But that's just who we are. 2-2 pitch, knuckle curve, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Let's go. Unbelievable. And again, talk about the clutch. You know, Polo was clutch, you know, in the ALDS, and obviously in the first 2 games, you know, with only a hit in the last 3. Cal Raleigh says, don't worry, hop on my back. I am the MVP. And there we go. Polo forces a walk. Let's go. Let's go. And it's kind of crazy to think that a left-handed pitcher, you know, would be the reason why we're starting to actually get going, which normally is the opposite. When we face left-handed pitching, usually we're done. And amazing. Great job by Randy saving a home run, and great job by Cal hitting one, baby. And we already haven't forgotten about Josh Naylor's big double play early. Could we end up getting a little magic here out of Naylor as well? First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. Knuckle curve missing. And at this point, hopefully he stays in for the rest of the game. Let's go. Come on, Naylor. Bottom of the 8th, 2-2 tie. Runner at first, no outs. And that's the spark that we fucking needed. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. And if you're not up now, you're up. You know, again, we just have a way of doing things. Pitch fouled off behind the plate with that cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. One pitch, low and at the knees with the knuckle curve. 2 balls and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Just be patient here. He's having a hard time hitting the strike zone. He is rattled after giving up that big homer to Cal. Now, do the players in the box recognize that he's shaky? You know, and hopefully they do. There's no reason on trying to get the, you know, count back into the pitcher's favor. He can't hit the zone. He's rattled. 2-1 pitch, low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Just have patience here. Little on the mound, Naylor in the box. Let's see if we can force another walk right here. Let's go. We're here for a reason. We earned this. The battle in Seattle is on. ALCS Game 5. 2-2 tie after a big dumper solo dinger from the right side. Haven't seen him bat from the right side in ages. And then the first time that he does, boom, big homer. Tied up at 2. Let's go. Let's get to 3 all day. We got enough people in the room. Takes 1 second to hit that like button. Let's go. Big swing and a miss by Naylor. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Little to Naylor. Let's go. What a comeback. And there we go. We'll take the walk, baby. Great eye by Naylor. Good job, Josh. And next up is Randy Arosarena, and Little's day is done. Thank you so much for bringing in a guy to have a meltdown. We've had plenty meltdowns ourselves. We were due to get one on the other side. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Especially how things went down in Game 3 and Game 4. We were due. All right, let's see who's coming in. And hopefully Randy can get a little bit of magic here. I mean, he did rob a home run, right? So if you rob a home run and you end up coming up in the next inning, what could possibly happen? Single, double, triple, ground rule double. But a lot of times it turns into a home run. Now, we already had it happen once today, right? Where we ended up getting that magic home run. Gino ends up making a great play on defense, comes into the next inning, boom shakalaka, home run. Could we get the magic out of Randy robbing a home run and getting a home run himself, and then we go up 5-2 with no outs? I mean, obviously, if that happens, we win. But even an RBI double to score 1 or 2 would be huge. Let's go, Randy. Bring that electricity. We know that you suck at grounding, fielding ground balls, but pop-ups, you're pretty good. And let's make some magic happen here. Let's go, Randy. And they're bringing in Dominguez. Sir Anthony Dominguez coming in. And now they're going back to righties. They said, we've seen enough of the lefty experience. That didn't work. So they're bringing in Sir Anthony Dominguez. And hopefully he has a meltdown as well. Let's go, Randy. Be patient, my guy. Yeah, and again, if there was a time for a bunt, this would be a good time for it. I 100% agree. Oh, baby, let's go. Trident's up, seize the moment. The battle in Seattle is in reach. We're going to go through a lot of emotions. We're going to have peaks and valleys. We're going to have highs. We're going to have lows. But we got here for a reason. We belong. First pitch, low and at the knees to Randy Arosarena. 1-0 count. Let's go, Randy. You know what to do, baby. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Sir Anthony having a meltdown. 2 balls and no strikes from Sir Anthony Dominguez to Randy Arosarena. Let's go to fucking Randy land. Come on, Randy. Two-0 pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arosarena. Come on, Randy. Patience. Here we go. Here he is. Our good luck charm. And Randy hit by a pitch. Let's go. Let's go. And we said that at the beginning of the broadcast. Randy getting hit by a pitch, and we had a couple people laugh. Well, let's fast forward 7 innings, and it happened. Let's go. Bases loaded. Meltdown. And we'll take him getting hit in the arm as long as he doesn't get hurt. And sometimes when you just know. Next up, Eugenio Suarez. First pitch, low and away. 1-0 count, bases loaded with no outs. Our time. We already had our backs against the wall with bases loaded, right? Now it's our time with bases loaded. Let's go. Let's win this. Let's go, Gino. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. 1-1 pitch, fouled off. Low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Be patient, Gino. We don't need a grand slam. Obviously, that wins the game, but just getting a hit, and that'll get us the lead. Or even a sac fly. One ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. Let's go. One-two pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Eugenio Suarez from Sir Anthony Dominguez. Come on, Gino. Come on, Gino. You made a great defensive play. You went yard. We know that you're so inconsistent. But again, I told you guys he was going to come up in the clutch when it mattered the most. And again, he might be a guy that you can't rely on game in and game out, maybe once a series. But this is the game. Let's go, Gino. Bottom of the 8th, bases loaded. No outs. Let's go, Gino. Gino. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Grand Salami. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I told you Gino would come with the big grand salami. Let's go. Let's go. Bang, 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 bang. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. And again, we complain, right? We complain. We criticize. We say, God, this guy hits 50 home runs, but he strikes out 1 billion times, right? We say it all the time, right? We want consistency. We don't get it from him. But I did tell you guys at the biggest moment with our backs against the wall, who's going to come up big? Gino. And he does. 2 home runs, solo dinger, grand salami. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Next up, JP Crawford. Let's go. Yeah. Beautiful. Love it, baby. I love it. I love it. Monkey with a 20. Let's go. Let's go. We're talking about moments. We're never going to forget that one for our entire lives. 2-0 pitch, JP. And he flies out to the shortstop. 1 away. That's okay, JP. But again, it shows you defense turns into offense. And this will be known as the Eugenio Suarez game. Wow. It's one thing, to hit a home run, to, get us going early on. But there's another thing on being able to hit a grand salami when it matters the most. Reflect with a 20. Monkey with a 20. And why is Dom still in the game? Captain with a 5-er. Let's go. 1-0 pitch. And Canzone grounds out. 2 away. Steven with a 10-er. Let's go. Unbelievable. But I can't believe it. And again, you have to have the faith, and there's so much negativity, in game 3, game 4, and even in this game, right? But you just got to trust me, Again, we're not going to be correct on every prediction. No one is, but again, a lot of times things that are said on this channel end up coming true. Let's go.
And there's a little slow dribbler there by Rivas. And that is out number 3, but not after the grand salami in the Eugenio Suarez game of 2025. And this is going to go down as one of the biggest games in his career ever. We're never going to forget that moment, baby. Let's go. And again, for a guy that may not be on the team next year, if it comes down to him or Naylor, we know Naylor is the choice. But again, to be able to leave a legacy, behind. And again, it's not like anyone else has really been stepping up, right? We only have 5 hits total. 5. 2 of them are home runs from Gino. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. But I can believe it. And always have that blind faith. We got here for a reason, not by accident. Let's go. Top of the 9th. 6-2 Mariner lead. And that could be the moment that catapults us as we go into Toronto in Game 6 and Game 7, possibly, to make the World Series against the Dodgers. Let's go. Mariner Muse was queued up just in time. Gino, you are the fucking man. Unbelievable. Let's go to the top of the 9th and see who's up next as I lose my voice here in the top of the 9th inning. Next up, 1 for 3, second baseman Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Batting second, shortstop in the 9-hole, Andres Jimenez. And batting third, DHing George Springer. I think I had like an out-of-body experience. Like I said, as soon as he hit it too, you knew it was gone. Unbelievable. Let him know, Monkey. If you're watching the stream, we got 606 in the room. I need help from the regulars and the mods in the room. We should easily be able to get to 400 likes or 500 likes. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet? Please do. We're trying to get to 400 to 500 likes. 200 on the dono train. And we only needed 9 subs to get to 23,100. Did we get it? We're 1 sub away. We have 1 sub out of 617 people. So that way that we can get to 23,100. We are 1 sub away. And there we go. $98 subs to 23,200. Shout out to the 40 plus subs today. Appreciate you guys. First pitch from Munoz to Kiner-Falefa. Takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Munoz to Kiner-Falefa. Let's go. And this is the meltdown we needed. Little and Dominguez. Thank you so much. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kiner-Falefa, who's actually had a pretty good series filling in for you-know-who. And I feel bad, for guys that have injuries and whatnot. 2-1 pitch popped up. Kiner-Falefa flies out to right, and that is 1 away. And hopefully Anthony Santander's back will be okay. Hopefully George Springer's knee is okay. But we're all about Gino, baby. Chris with a 5er on the dono train. Let's go. First pitch from Munoz to Jimenez. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Jimenez in the box. Andres Munoz on the mound. Let's go. And everyone will remember where they were for the Gino game of the century. Let's go. 0-1 pitch fouled off, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Andres Jimenez. And again, you know how hard it is to hit 2 home runs in a game? let alone to, set the tempo and get the first one after making a great defensive play and then to get a grand salami late. That might be something that even Julio and Cal might not be able to do, and again, for Gino to do it, for being so inconsistent and then being a hero late when we needed him the most, unbelievable. 0-2 pitch fouled off, high and away into left field, and again, some guys are not going to be as consistent, but again, there are guys that have the clutch factor, when it matters the most. Even if he's only good 1 game out of 7 in a series, we got that game here today. In play, and flies out to Randy, and that is 2 away. Let's go. Nice job by Munoz. Mariner Moose did his job. Gino did his job defensively, and in the box, solo dinger and a grand salami. Man, unbelievable. And even if he didn't get the home run, he would have gotten 1 or 2 guys to score with a single or a double. So, Loperfido in next. First pitch from Mooney. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. He went for a Happy Gilmore swing and didn't get it. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 9th, 1 strike away from game, you know what it is, game 5, the Gino game. Let's go, 1 strike away. Trident's up, let's go M's. Believe. 0-2 pitch, in play. Grounds out to JP. Throw to first. Let's go. Final score. Seattle Mariners 6, Toronto Blue Jays 2. Let's go. And the Mariners now are up 3-2 in the series as it goes back to Toronto. Let's go. Another 20 by Monkey. Unbelievable. Six for his last 50, and then comes up that big there. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Toronto Blue Jays 2. In game 5, we take a 3-2 lead. Gino with a home run early in the matchup in the bottom of the 2nd, and then obviously in the bottom of the 8th. Gino with a grand salami with Polo, Naylor, and Randy on board. Final score, Mariners 6, Blue Jays 2. And when the Mariners win, what the fuck do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. And after 2 straight losses, I'm not the only one that is feeling this game here today. Unbelievable. Huge win. And again, we didn't get a whole lot out of certain guys. 0 for 4 out of Julio. 0 for 3 from Polo. 0 for 2 from Randy. 0 for 3 from JP. 0 for 4 from Dominic Canzone. 0 for 3 from Leo Rivas, right? But we got enough out of the other guys. Cal, 2 for 4. Naylor, 1 for 3. And the most important, Gino, 2 for 3 with a solo dinger and a grand salami. Unfucking believable. Let's go. I mean, we always remember Edgar's game, Griffey sliding in. We always have all these memories. But again, this one might be towards the top. Again, Gino, a player that, we criticize a lot. He strikes out a ton. But again, when he gets hot, he gets incredibly hot. And he showed it here today. I'm so proud of him. And again, because a lot of hate towards Gino. And some of it rightfully so, compared to some of the other guys that are more consistent than him. But again, I told you when we signed him, he might end up being slow, and he was, right? Naylor was awesome. Gino was terrible initially. But I said later in the season and in the postseason, when we need him the most, he will step up. And he certainly did here today. Unbelievable. Oh, baby. Shout out to Flying Monk, Bando, Steven, Dave, woohoo, 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 Reflect, Monkey, Reflect, Captain, Steven, Panthers fan, Chris, and Monkey Kung Fu. Oh, man. This will be a game that he remembers, obviously for the rest of his life. But this win is so big for us in the Mariner fan base. Winning the first 2 games, a dream come true. Losing the last 2 games, a fucking nightmare. But what did I tell you guys? We might have lost the battle in game 3 and game 4, but we're not fucking losing the war, okay? Great job by the Seattle Mariners. And again, we feel confident, going into Toronto that we can get the job done, whether it be in game 6 or game 7. Way to bring that electricity, baby. Gino. Let's go. And the funny thing is, in the pregame show, no one picked us to win except for A-Rod. I still don't like A-Rod. Obviously he's kind of the black sheep and whatnot, but he was the only one that thought we were going to win. And for being a former Seattle Mariner, thank you so much. We'll take that. Let's go. What a huge, huge win. And again, you could have that scenario with Gino in 100 games, and maybe he only does what he did once. But I'm so thankful it was here in game 5. And just like we won game 5 in dramatic fashion in the ALDS, what do? We do it in game 6. No. Game 5 in the ALCS again. Something special about that game 5. And again, now we're in great position. With 2 games possibly to go, we only got to win once. And I like our chances winning in game 6 or game 7. Let's go. One of the biggest moments in baseball ever in our franchise. I'm trying to think of a moment bigger than that, and I can't think of one. Unbelievable. All the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the games that we did here on the channel, and getting rewarded, by finally breaking out and getting a global audience and then being able to watch these games together with you guys, it's just priceless. And again, if it wasn't for YouTube or, streaming services, a lot of us, would just be watching in front of our couch or in our bedroom, yelling at the TV. And to be able to share these moments together, that means everything to me. And I know that down the road, we'll remember, hey, where were you when Gino had the 2 home run game in game 5 in the ALCS, the year that we went to the World Series? And you're going to be like, oh, I was on that Northwest Sports Fanatics stream, and I'm never going to forget this day. And again, you got to think on how bad things were going, in the, kind of middle of the game, after, we ended up pulling, our pitcher maybe a little too soon, with Bryce Miller, and then, having a little bit of a meltdown with Brash and Woo, and thinking that we have a chance, but we got to keep it close, but the defense came up, the pitching was good overall, enough what we needed. But again, Gino single-handedly won the game for us, and it feels so good. It feels so good. I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm in fucking floating right now. I'm like outside of my fucking body right now. But again, for all the haters, and for all the people that were being negative, again, it shows, some people can handle the pressure easier than others. You got to understand, it's a series. Just because one bad thing happens doesn't mean it's over, and again, you got to have that blind faith. We got here for a reason. We earned it. 6-2 final, Seattle. We go up 3-2. And this will definitely be a day that I will never forget. And again, I know some people, when I said it, they probably, scoffed and they laughed at us, or they laughed at me. He sucks. He strikes out way too much. Oh, he's got, 50 home runs, but how many times does he strike out? A lot, right? A lot. But when he gets hot, he might get hotter than any player on the team. And he showed that today. And I'm so thankful, that he made me look good, because again, it kind of felt like something special was, a brewing. And I'm glad that he capitalized. And I think that even if he didn't hit the grand salami, he would have hit a double or a single, and then it would have been enough to win, 3-2, 4-2. But for dramatic fashion, to hit a solo dinger in the second, and then a grand salami at the end of the game, you couldn't ask for a better finish. And then to have Mooney come in at the end and, kick the door down. We're all going to sleep really good tonight, and I'm going to drink some tea. I'm going to have some honey. I'm going to probably eat a whole bag of Ricola, cough drops. And, man, feels very, very good. And again, we will be live tomorrow for the Ducks going against Rutgers. And that'll be at 3:30 Pacific. And then obviously when we get into Game 6 and Game 7, we'll be doing that as well. So love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, unbelievable finish. You couldn't ask, for a better finish than that. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Toronto Blue Jays 2. We go up 3-2 in the series, and we get the momentum back. Great job by Mooney, but the MVP and the story of the day and the story for the rest of the year will be third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Home run in the second inning, solo dinger, 396 feet, and then a grand salami with Polo, Naylor, and Randy on board, 351 feet, 6-2 final. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. And then Matt with another $2 dono on Cash App as well. I wanted to make sure. And if anyone has donated on the Cash App or the Venmo, thank you so much. Thank you, Matt. I just noticed it there. Sometimes the notification will come up on my phone, and sometimes I have to close everything out to see it. So thank you, Matt. Every dollar counts. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. I can't wait. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Mariners 6, Blue Jays 2. I'm floating still. And again, this victory walk with my pup, I don't know how long I'm going to walk. Normally I walk for 30 to 45 minutes. Hell, I might walk for a couple hours. I'm on cloud 9 right now, and I know you guys are as well. And again, we earned it. The battle in Seattle. We might have lost the battle in Game 3 and Game 4, but we did not lose the war. Let's go. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Mariners 6, Blue Jays 2. Enjoy this one, Mariners. And I know you guys will. TJ and everyone else, thank you so much for your support in the chat. Reflect as well. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. And I'm out. Go Mariners. Seize the moment. Trident's up. And I am out. Gang. Go M's.